I said, fuck in the strip club, make it rain for 3 hours.
Not with the hype.
Patrick cries. I'm not gonna be Patrick.
I'm okay. Don't worry, I'll probably join this though.
Not with the hype.
It's pizza box ass bag.
Bring on boy.
Don't worry, we'll save it. We'll save it.
You saving something?
We'll save it. I love that. Yeah.
Look at it.
Let's get it, bro.
Isn't it crazy that this is like basically almost how it started? A little bit.
It's been
It's what, 3 out of 4?
Yeah.
4 out of 5.
Damn.
4 to 5.
4 to 5.
4 out of 5.
4 to 5? Yeah.
Yeah. No, wait, 4 to 6. 4 to 6. Don't forget about Florida, man.
Yeah, don't forget about Florida.
Don't forget Florida, man.
Crazy, running around.
And I remember the day that Pat's like, yo, I'd love to just join this movement and whatever we're doing, I just join it. And I'm like, yeah, you'd be a great addition to it. And see where you are right now, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. You guys spoke this into fruition, man.
Don't cry yet. Don't tell the whole story yet. Let's just get right up in the thing. We'll talk about it.
Mandem. It's not with a hype thing. A war.
Yes, Medea. Wagwan.
Wow, Brandon, man, you're gonna make me dig in the crates for a Brampton drop. Hold on, I saw it too.
It's there.
For real life.
Brampton's finest.
What's happening, man? I'm glad to be here. Pleasure to be here. It's I'm honored. I'm honored to be amongst my brothers, of course.
We also got like a whole studio audience here. This honestly needs to be photographed. We're gonna have
Facts.
like
We gotta turn the camera around. Turn the camera around.
Yeah, we got.
Yes.
We got Sticks in the building. We got some friends of the show in the building. You know that.
Man, Twitter famous.
Yeah,
He's famous.
the East is represented.
East End well represented. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the West End too, Branson. Let's get it, bro.
Tremaine,
Brampton's finest.
We got Rudy in the building.
Yeah.
The pod's troll in the background. It's just
he was a hater from day one. From day one, he was a hater. No, he's a lover of this stuff, right? So
what happened? Still trolling.
Yeah.
Still trolling
in the background.
Man.
Damn.
And we got all the ladies in the pod, man. We got a whole we got a couch for you.
We got a couch full. That's crazy.
I like that.
Not with the hype.
I like that the gentlemen let the ladies have the couch. Right? That's good.
Yeah.
Good play. Good move.
Brought them seat. That's true.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
So this pod is going to be obviously a little bit different. Oh, Malik's in the building.
Malik, yes. Many things don't happen without this guy.
I like how we walked in like an old sitcom character. You know, they just pop in. It's like, hey.
If I don't see you, I don't know you're here. And he popped in, and now I remember you're here.
You are in demand now. You're in demand now, nigga. Just let you know.
Yeah, you're in demand. Photoman gets paid.
He gets paid.
This is obviously going to be a little bit different in terms of like a format of what this whole pod looks like. Like typically we're just like, what happened last week, the week before, what happened, what's going on in the headlines, let's get into it. Like, yeah, we're going to get into a couple of things that are just so disgusting that we got to talk about it. But
nasty.
A lot of this is just like, this is 200. This is a send-off. This is a celebration. This is us looking back at a lot of moments that were created by a lot of people in this room right now. A lot of the moments that were celebrated and enjoyed by a lot of the people that are listening right now. Mm-hmm. And people ask me, I don't know how you feel, Patrick, but people ask me a few times the last couple of weeks, like, how do you feel about doing episode 200 when it's coming up, blah, 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 you sad, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, nah, I'm kind of excited to get to 200. I'm excited to experience it. I'm excited to send off something that like really did a lot of things for me in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. How do you feel?
Bro, it's man, I promise mess I want to cry. No, it's honestly surreal, man. Like I got people saying like, don't end it, you know what I mean? Keep going. And yeah, we'll see what happens. But honestly, like, it's been a crazy ride, just like starting off the way we did. And honestly, this has been the most amazing outlet for me personally. So appreciate you, man. Appreciate Malik. Appreciate like Coco. Appreciate just like all of y'all actually just, you know, sticking with us as we went through it. You know, Brandon too, and everyone that's here, like just sticking with us as we went through it. But yeah, this has been amazing for me, man. Just to get that once a week, you know, when we were going at it, like have a place to just chill and just talk about things and just let that creative outlet flow. So I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss it for sure, but who knows, man? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, this is just beginning of something else, right? So one chapter closes and we see what happens after that. But this has been great.
And I think like if I can also add, like, it's just good to leave something when everybody's still being like, why would you end it?
Keep them.
I would rather have somebody say that than like the reaction be like, I can see why you're trying to end it. Yeah, you guys did your thing.
Like, you know what? Like, year 2020, what is that?
Yeah,
22?
I'm not trying to average 8 points in my final game. I'm trying to go out like LeBron today.
Facts. Facts.
We're gonna do we're gonna have. Typically, we have cracker crawler segments throughout the pod. Yeah. Or one for every pod. This episode, because it is a celebration of the pod, and we have a couple friends, former guests of the pod that are going to be coming on, we're going to have a few of those. So maybe we'll start with our first one. Yeah. Brandon, you can crack yours. I'm going to grab one of these over here.
Of course.
All right.
There you go.
And I'm gonna cheers you three boys as cheers to us. And Brandon, if I can ask you after you take your sip, what is this pod meant for you, and like what are maybe some of your favorite memories, that first things that come to your mind?
Wow, no, it's fitting that this is happening on a Good Friday, really and truly. It's really fitting it's happening on a Good Friday, because literally every single Friday that I look forward to, from the start of this in 2018 to even to now in general too, a lot has happened, but it's always been a Good Friday to me, right? And that the bars, I just thought about that off the top, right? But anyway, no, it's like I'll sing. No, really and truly, like every.
I was supposed to say that.
No, I really and truly, like, remember the conversation we had, Shaq, back in 2018 when you said, hey, we're going to LA, we're going to West Hollywood, it's Jerron, this movie, but I want you to bring your podcast equipment. So
context-wise, though, that time in life,
crazy.
All of us were in some completely different, I had just quit a job. I had no job at that point. Single, and first time in LA. And then for you, I think, were you teaching at that time?
I was teaching, but I don't know if I was full time yet. For context, you played Future the Start with a track, and the track that we started this on when he released the mixtape was Rax Blue. Remember Rax Blue and like Future back in the day? That was 2018, right? So just fitting how Future's kind of shaped this too. But yeah, once again, a lot of time. No, a lot of time from this time since 2018, right? But yeah, it's been a while, and it's something that we spoke about for quite a long time. Didn't see it, didn't know what it would become, but the fact that families involved. I want to give a shout out to your parents, right, Alan and Natalie, who opened up.
They had our first studio.
Exactly, first studio. Opened up the
let us come through.
Yeah, I used to drive through Bush. I used to drive through all these farm country to get to every single episode every day, every Friday. But I loved it. Like, there was something about it, I loved it. You stick the 407. I don't care what I was paying the 407, but I love coming down to Richmond Hill from Brampton every Friday and having those moments, because it was just more so. It was almost like, we even said this one time, it's almost like therapeutic to come and talk, And I know we're going to be close for life after university, but we became even closer after university with this podcast and everything that's brought us on. And there's some stuff that happened throughout the time, but I'm glad that God and everything led me back to being kind of a staple and being an intern, as Malik gets to say it. And all these things over the years. But
when
it's
you became
really
part-time,
part-time. It's really become like my favorite podcast, really and truly, the best outlet for me, even though I had my own, but really felt like I could be myself on here and really express myself. Also, not the best experience podcast wise and media wise, and it's fitting too that we went to media studies together in university, and it's become what it's become. So now, nothing but great things to say about this. I didn't want to get emotional about this either, but holy crow, I'm getting emotional too. But everything with this entire podcast, entire project has been something that I really hold dear to my heart. It's going to be a big part of my life going forward.
Yeah, it was crazy. If I can, because you touched on just going back to where this started from, and I don't know how many times. I don't know if we really talked about the story as much on the pod, but it really was just something to do during pre-drink hours while we're kicking it in LA at my boy Jerron's apartment. He's from Ohio. He's never been to LA before, so we were all figuring out that city together. Exactly. So before we were doing anything, we would pre-drink, kind of just it would look kind of like this. That's a table with some drinks and some mics and one mixer. We had music that wasn't even going directly in, so we were playing the music on the big speakers that we're hoping that would capture by the microphone.
Young Dolph, it was Dolph. It's Dolph. Yeah, rest in peace.
And it was just raw and probably not. Well, it wasn't very good. And we came back after doing that a couple times, and we're like, okay, I really want to do this. Do you really want to do this? Brandon was down. I'm like, okay, great. I hit up Patrick. He's like, I've been looking for an outlet. Let's do this. I think I wanted our first guest to be Bird and Keys. He's like, I want to actually be a co-host. It's like, cool. Malik, he signed on, who just walked away coincidentally, as I said, Bird and Keys. He at the time, I think, was still figuring out
wanted to do
how he was going to just work in this whole creative space, because he just had graduated at the time. So for all of us, it was kind of pivotal. I was looking for just something to do where I can have a platform. So it just kind of all aligned where all of us got together and we just agreed on that Friday being sacred. We took that serious, it was consistent, and the consistency kind of helped shape and lead us to kind of where we are now, which has been dope.
A story that people don't really know about: when we're coming back from LA in the airport, they stopped me because of the equipment, the podcast equipment, and then Shaq just looking around. I'm being touched up by a bunch of different security guards just because I had the podcast equipment in general too, right? That was something I'll never forget, right? Never felt like a criminal until then. But no, you see from that point to now how it's kind of shaped up, and you guys are being, it's one thing I want to say, but you guys are great people, right? You treat every guest the exact same. You're always the same. Remember the Tuesdays we used to have when it comes to planning everything. You're so professional back then as well too, and that's why I'm so proud to be part of that from the start. Through the COVID times, through those Zoom calls.
We went 2 weeks. We did 2 weeks, which was nuts. But I really have to, I really appreciate you guys, because this pod was something where we just tried a bunch of shit. It was what do you think if we did this? How about if we tried to do it this way? Could we talk about this? How about getting this person on it? And we were all there was never a time where somebody was like, fuck no. It was always I don't know any better. You don't know any better. Let's give it a shot. It works. It doesn't, whatever.
All great ideas until story time with Brandon.
Story time with Brandon.
That's my favorite. Bro.
Since that time, but no,
we gotta have that.
I think that's I don't even think I still have this here, but
I've grown a lot since that time. I
think that was an example where we learned maybe you don't share everything when you're podcasting, and we shared a lot probably earlier on than not.
For sure. Didn't think it would get back to me until I got text during the week. Why do you talk to me about it? So many things over time.
Why didn't you talk to me about this?
Just so many things, but no. The start of this, the end. I couldn't be more appreciative for the bond we've created and how we, just been brothers through it all, essentially, right? And I couldn't be more honored to be part of a project and a podcast.
What's crazy to me is how we dedicated the Fridays. You mentioned that. Imagine being just us, growing up in the city, being in our mid-20s, and we're Fridays. Nah. You know what I mean? Because we tell people this,
and none of us lived in the city really, so that's the night to do your whatever.
And
I
remember telling people that, and they'd be like, "Yo, your Friday nights? What do you mean?" And but if to me, this was what I wanted to do. I wanted to be here. You know what I mean? And again, just the hospitality that your family showed and everything. It goes a long way. And credit to us though for sticking through it, man. I'm telling you, it's not easy. We've seen pods come and go since we've been doing this, and people who started after us and left the game and whatever. You know what I mean? It's not easy road to travel. So Shout out to us.
Just for context as well, too, LeBron joined the LA Lakers during when we started. That's crazy.
Yeah,
started
LeBron came to the Lakers when we started.
And now it's 2024.
Yeah.
That's some years, right? So
Saying LeBron's.
LeBron's all living. LeBron's all living the man.
LeBron also outlived us. That's crazy. This is gonna be a show where it's gonna be a lot of like reflections, looking back. Like we gotta. People are cracking crawlers already before I can call the next segment. I love it. I love it.
Crushing crawlers.
Crushing crawlers.
Crushing crawlers.
I do want to touch on. Sorry, one thing I want to say is all the guests you have. You have guests from like Sherman Hamilton to Kirko Banks to like just everyone in Toronto.
Jamal McGlure
is going through, right? So just man, this has been a staple, and this has been something that people in the city has looked forward to, and you guys provided that.
Our second episode, we literally had Machine Gun Kelly's manager on our pod while he was beefing with Eminem.
Like,
I
remember that.
Who can say that they started a podcast where like that was the ground floor, and then we're like, I'm gonna say we was just a bunch of nobodies really doing that. Like what podcast that started in 2020 was starting? That was where they started. None of them.
Yo, Brian Michael Cox, like having like a Grammy award-winning producer out here, like that's crazy. You know what I mean?
I remember being mad too about you because there was a J. Cole concert, and you went to the J. Cole concert, and I was waiting outside for years because you were over.
I told Patrick to take those tickets. No.
Yeah, he told me that. Anyways, I remember that. I'm still mad about that, but at the same time, it's been a while, and it's been a really successful run for you too. And
and also selfishly, if I can just talk about that, what it's done for me, like it's been the creative outlet. It's been that thing where it's like, okay, I feel like we have a platform where we've been trying to strive and look for media platforms to be a part of and join, especially us as dudes that have all been in media studies been in media studies for school. It's been great to have that for as a passion, and then it's also led me into like, I can definitely say it's got me 2 jobs at least. That's the one thing I talk about in interviews more than anything. All the skills that we're doing here is the work that I'm trying to get into the world. So I'm just so proud of what we've been able to do and accomplish.
I actually used our one of our pitch decks for an interview process.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we've done a lot here, man.
My principal follows me on Twitter and everything. Everybody asks me, he's like, hey, like, can I see one of your podcasts? I see this Now with the Hype thing coming up all the time. I'm like, okay, I had a story time with Brandon over here, so let's listen to this one. Listen to this episode, but don't worry, it's gonna be fire. And you listen to these, like, this is a really good production and everything too. So it's amazing.
Malik here speaking.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you. No, I just wanted to say too, like from the beginning. So I graduated from Humber in 2017. I did media communications. So it was like photo, video, graphic design, web.
Kind of like what we wanted to do.
Because you guys went to Guelph.
Ours was the theory.
I did the Humber version of that. So it was only a 2-year program. Yeah, you guys just thought about it. I was out in the field.
Look, what if you take pictures and you take them like this? Like, that would be a good thing. Malik's sitting there doing it. Yeah.
So yeah, I got to do that, but it was a 2-year program. Yeah. But then once I graduated, I didn't have enough experience for anything. So I needed to do my own. I felt I needed to do my own thing because I was sticking with it. I didn't want to just go out and get a job, do whatever. Yeah. So I stuck with it. Helped build a couple brands along the way. One of the most important ones being this one, Out the Hype. So all that to say is, so that experience for me. So I graduated 2017. We built this in 2018. Yeah. Between 2018 and 2021.
Yeah.
We built this up, and I got a lot of freelance experiences, but that's like the main reason that I was even able to get a corporate job.
Damn.
That's what I'm saying.
I started working at CBC Olympics because I stuck with it and I created brands and did stuff on my own. Like when I showed my portfolio, which is hilarious to think back now, I was like, well, I got a podcast.
Talk about it.
I got a podcast. I do this. I've done music cover arts. I do this. I do that. But all that to say is like, so I got that and I did the Olympics for 2 years straight because of something like Now with the Hype. And because I was able to do the Olympics, now I have my full-time salary job that I've been working for almost 2 years now.
Yeah.
But that all wouldn't be possible without what we have built here.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. For real. You You got to choose your own adventure for real.
It's facts. Like,
Absolutely.
man, look how, honestly, we've grown so much, man. And like, similar story to that, like, I've had opportunities come to me because of this podcast. So, you know what I mean? Being able to put it on a portfolio, demo reel, whatever the case may be, like, this has been an amazing experience to have that.
Yeah.
Like, honestly.
It'll be with us forever.
Facts.
It's
Facts.
going to help us.
Facts.
If I can keep the show moving, and like I really want to get.
I'm out of here.
Damn.
No, joking.
Brandon took that as a personal attack. Brandon took that like.
I didn't mean that.
Home, but
I want to keep the show moving because like I said, there's a couple people in here that have helped shape the pod for what it is. Whether that just be beef with us online, talking mad shit in the comments, trolling us in the DMs, being on a couple episodes with and without said collective.
Damn.
I mean, he's looking at me all kind of crazy. My eyes are bad.
Pizza
but
box.
like,
we talking about that.
Yo, you're stupid.
Okay.
I want to have our second Cracker Crawler segment and invite our homie Tremaine to be sitting up here.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Brampton's finest.
I just did.
What are you saying, man?
Why? How you doing?
Welcome.
Damn.
Yes.
Welcome
to 200.
Come on, bro. 200. Come on. Bro.
So you gotta tell the people what you texted me when I was checking to see if you were gonna make it today.
Oh. So I was like, because he was like, oh, thank you for coming or whatever, because like we had talked about it before.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, like if he didn't invite me, I was gonna call in a bomb threat. So
This guy's crazy.
And that's why I said, I'm like,
You know what I'm
that's that
saying?
toxic ass love.
like,
that I kind of feel like
you
we
gonna
need.
end not with the hype without Mr. Not with the hype. This
This guy's crazy. This guy's crazy.
So what makes you Mr. Non with the hype?
Listen, man. I've been a supporter for a very long time.
When would you like? It's been a while. Like to your point, yeah. When would you say that you like started listening? Because I think you started listening first before we had you on, and then
100%,
we had you on, and I honestly
it
don't
couldn't
remember.
have
It's
been
been
more
a while.
than like y'all had to be at like probably the 20th episode max.
It was early.
Yeah, it was mad.
Was it
early.
that early?
It was mad early.
Damn.
I started, but like I did like a super creep. Like I was in the bushes.
I was in the bushes, right?
Yo, this guy is wild.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I kind of like I parted the bushes. I was like, oh.
That's what I part of the bushes.
Yeah, I mean,
Y'all crazy
and then I like crept up.
No, but you-
I started with a few likes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A couple.
And then
I feel like you were trolling
You
heavy.
wouldn't be too thirsty.
I
Yeah,
worked
you
my
were
way
trolling
here.
heavy
Yeah.
before you came on, and it must have been 2020 when we first had you on.
I also
'Cause it was
though,
virtual.
I also though am one of those rare people who went through like a real podcast moment. So like it was dope. Like on it 100%. I listened to a lot of like Canadian content,
Right.
and your shit was just so good and like relatable and enjoyable that I was like, oh shit, like that's dope. Because otherwise it was just mad American, and I was like, nah, you gotta have at least one at home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
Appreciate
I
you.
got a question.
What's that?
Did any of you guys know Tremaine before this?
So here's mine.
Tell your.
I did not, but I remembered Tremaine from one time that we had an interaction where it was North by Northeast for our Americans in here, or my wife who's American. It's our South by Southwest.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was on the nose like that. Yeah. Anyway. Hey,
Man.
I'm mostly talking to the people anyways.
In the others.
So I was at North by Northeast. This must have been like 13, 14. And I was at the time doing my internship with Urbanology magazine, which is a hip hop magazine.
Shout out to Urbanology.
Similar to like...
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's a hip hop magazine / tech magazine that was around in the city. There were hard copies. They did digital.
Yeah.
But at that time, we had a table or a booth at North by Northeast.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I remember Tremaine specifically because this guy was coming to network. This guy came. He had his backpack on, but he came for business. And he saw Urbanology. You were familiar with Urbanology at the time, and you wanted to connect with them and blah blah blah. And we chatted a bit. I can't really remember the details, but I just remember being like, okay, I like this guy, and I don't even know if we followed each other or nothing, but I think I remembered your face. And then I don't know what happened, and then maybe we followed each other, and that's what led to you knowing about the pod.
Maybe still. Instagram,
I don't know.
Instagram works crazy like that.
Yeah,
it's just like sometimes you follow somebody and they don't pop up until they pop up.
I did follow you because after that moment, I remember just seeing your career kind of continue doing what it was doing. You know, I started seeing all the different pulses and the moments that you were having.
Yeah.
So that by the time that it was us podding, it was like, oh shit, okay. Tremaine want to come and kick it with the pod. Well, I'm trying to start something. This is crazy. What a moment now. You know what I mean?
That's
so
crazy.
Yeah, that's been my experience with you before it. So it's been really kind of cool to see that like the pod really just created a friendship.
Yeah.
A couple friendships.
Yeah. I remember like Stay Out Late. I got introduced. I didn't even think like we really met. It was more so friends of friends. Brandon being one of them, and what was it, Renisha? I think back in the day. Yeah. From Stay Out Late. So.
Oh!
I knew it was gonna hit him.
Hey, yo, what the fuck? Yeah, that's crazy.
I love when it's crazy and I don't know why it's crazy.
Holy shit.
That's crazy. Yeah. No, we'll say that. That's
Brandon wants to say. You can say why it's crazy, Brandon. Go for it.
I forgot about this, but Pat and I used to work together for about a year or so. So we met a lot of people in Toronto. We were from Rogers Radio. We used to do a bunch of promo stuff together, and that's what led us to Tremaine.
Yeah. That's it. That's it.
That didn't say anything about Nisha. That's cool.
That's all good. Yeah, that's all good. Yeah. But that's it.
Okay. You got the wife and eyebrows. I won't press.
Jeez.
So you've been both viewer or listener and participant.
Yeah.
What's so fun about fucking with us? Because that's what you do.
I like that.
Yo, I feel like honestly, it's like if you watch TV or if you like listen to like a good show or whatever, like they're like you scream at the TV, you know what I'm saying? Like when it's good, like you scream at it, you know what I'm saying? Like you always have your inputs or whatever, but they can't hear you. Y'all can hear me. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's a beautiful thing to be able to like interact and just like, you know, have that banter or whatnot. And
Hey, I love that.
you need to ride or die.
It's like a fourth wall breaking of pods.
Yeah.
Deadpool?
Where he kind of moves like that in our universe.
No, but that's a huge compliment. Like I appreciate that because we were just talking about this in our group chat, just saying like that's the ultimate compliment you could give people who do a podcast. Is like when you listen, you want to be a part of the conversation. You are a part of the conversation. So I appreciate that, man. Because literally, that's like what I would want to do. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that.
Appreciate y'all.
While we have you here, let's not forget that we pod. You know, it doesn't have to all just be about
Let's get into
about what is happening in the back.
Also,
Let's
let me
talk about
actually have a crack.
crack the crawler, bro.
How do you say your? Can we cut some crack?
Yeah, cheers. Taste that thing. It's some porch crawler in a can. You can get this at LCBOs. You can order it online at crawler.ca. Drink Crawlers, their Instagram. Follow them. They're good. They're great people, man.
Okay, it's nice.
They got mad flavors. You might have the.
He's got the.
You got the prickly pear.
Pear, sparkling water, gin, vodka, and a little light beer.
What do you think?
Y'all doing y'all thing, man.
Yeah.
Shout out Crawler.
Shout out to Crawler, man.
I want to talk about what everybody's talking about, and I'm trying to think about things that are evergreen and what has been evergreen and proven in the past with our podcast. We are going to talk about Diddy.
Damn.
We've talked about Diddy for Malik brought
Many
this up
times, many
times. It was before
The whole time.
before Cassie. I think it was before Mace too. We had Diddy the Demon as
Diddy
like
the
one
Demon,
of I think that might have been the
That was the
episode title.
Yeah.
As one of the more recent ones.
Diddy the Demon.
So we're at an all-time high of Diddy demonism. The man that I saw it recently, he's been spotted since the raid.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Somebody caught him outside of like a 7-Eleven or some bullshit.
Ah, damn.
Where do I start with this? What do you guys think? What do you make?
Did y'all see the
raid?
No. Twitter feed. When they posted the Somalian guy.
No.
Dog, it took me.
No, you gotta explain. You gotta explain.
Nah, they just had like posted the Somalian guy, and everybody's like, nah, it's like because they were like, yo, they caught him, they arrested him.
And it was some random.
Yeah, it was like a one shot and everything. And I was like, what?
I'll tell you.
The face was more like triangular.
Oh, that's fine. I'll tell you what I did see.
Yeah.
I saw the clip from Get Him to the Greek where Diddy is convincing Jonah Hill to smuggle drugs on the plane and telling him, if you got to put it in your ass, you better put that shit in your ass. That's where you hold the power. And I'm like, is that really what you told your...
That's what you told the mule?
Yeah, that's what you told Young Miami.
Oh, you told Young Miami? Yeah. Remember there was a dude.
She is a mule as well.
No, but there was that dude, right?
Accused.
Alleged.
Yeah. That guy used to play on...
Allegedly. Please use that a lot. Use allegedly.
His other mule used to play basketball for Syracuse.
Nick, never mind. Let me not say a name. I'm not saying a name.
No, you can say a name. What's his name? Brendan Paul. Yeah.
Crazy.
So I saw that.
Damn.
I had also seen a clip from, I can't remember which music video it was. This guy's got
the Nelly video?
No, the one where Diddy's getting on the plane and he's running away from the feds. It's all about the Benjamins.
I liked the fact that they started like peeling back layers and they were like, wait. So it's a post of Ride With Me Nelly, and Nelly was putting a bunch of girls in the back of a 18-wheeler. And they were like, wait, we gotta really investigate all these 90s videos, bro. Early 2000s videos.
That's crazy. Like, this man's our whole, like...
So the craziest...
3 decades?
It's been his entire career, and it's the craziest thing about it is that, like, it has been right in front of us. We've all kind of talked about certain aspects of the things that he is currently accused for being a part of.
I wanna, so this is like a interesting moment, because I've had a couple of friends who have had pods who've been like, yo, come on, like this Diddy thing is big, like we gotta talk about it, and I'm not doing it.
Right.
Tell me about why you're apprehensive.
Yeah.
Don't bang on the thing. You know how that goes.
I can't even bang on this
one. It's my island, so yeah.
It's not dominant.
It's pretty bangable.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's nice. It's nice.
Come on, you know how many
Okay, so listen, my whole thing is, and this is, I'm gonna say it. Anyway,
say it.
Diddy being, as of recent, success story in terms of like the black billionaire type thing has been like super close to me.
Okay.
In terms of just like seeing those moments, especially in a field that like I'm so connected to, and so on and so forth. And it's not that like I don't believe that everything is possible, but I do believe that like when it comes to black, I'm always gonna like hold out. I'm not like, you know what I mean? I'm always gonna be like, before I comment on this, especially for who he is.
Okay.
Especially for who he is. You got to prove it first.
So
because I'm not gonna create this. I'm not gonna add or create to a narrative where it's like, yo, like, oh, we got him because everybody's like throwing jokes or digging up shit, and we can't separate reality from the truth.
But what if I say that this is a scenario where we had we didn't see this coming, and in 2024 it floored us all that Diddy's being accused of these things. We're seeing that Diddy's being accused of these things, and then saying, holy shit, that kind of lines up with that creepy shit I saw him doing over here. This kind of lines up with him calling Fabulous Daddy excessively.
But also, like my whole thing is since probably we were in fucking high school, like everybody knew about like Diddy G drug stories. You know what I mean? Like crazy shit. And for me, it was like, yo,
hold on, wait,
it was so. It was always
Diddy G drugs. I didn't know about those ones.
People were telling those stories. People
would always tell the stories of like, yo, when you get on, you go to a Diddy party and Diddy drugs.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But it like that was always just kind of like jokey joke. You know what I mean? Ha ha ha. Like Diddy G.
Yeah, put Molly in a champagne. She ain't know it. Ha 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 ha.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, Malik. Hold on. Go for it.
No, because like I agree with that. When you put it that way, where like you don't want to jump on the narrative, because I'm aware of how powerful narratives are.
Yeah.
Like they can go one way or the other.
Yeah.
Especially with a black person, especially a powerful black person. So that I definitely hear that. But then, you know, the problem is this: it's not like he's he's like a powerful black millionaire, billionaire that's just done his thing. You know, he's a hard worker. Hasn't done anything wrong. It's like when you go back and you look, unfortunately, a lot of things stack up. And then it makes you wonder, it's like, well, why did he change his name a bunch of times? Well, what happened
That's a good question.
What happened with Shine in jail?
I think
why
my big
so
thing
religious?
is, so this is, to elaborate on what I'm talking about in terms of like how close it was, it's because like the other big thing is we know, especially in a lot of situations for black people, like we're coming from the dirt. And we also know, like, culturally, not only in blackness, but in the Italians, in the Irish, in the Jewish, like everybody had to do the dirt to get to the top, and then they make like blockbuster movies about everybody doing the dirt except for us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's easy to pull up dirt from somebody who like, yo, I was at the bottom, I was doing wild shit to get to this point where I can have this like, to an extent, like freedom.
But
what if he's doing the dirt while he's got the freedom?
Exactly. While you're
he's known for having the Diddy parties. He is him currently today, right? He's been him currently today for the past 20 years.
I just think like, again, like if it's proven, then
what if you're seeing you're seeing a lot of court documents that are saying some crazy shit.
Yeah, but
are you still feeling
court documents are all speculation? Court documents get put in.
How about this? Okay,
everybody puts them in, and then it goes to court, and then it's proven in court.
So you have your speculative court documents. You have your hearsay in the culture. I have like second and third hand accounts where I'm hearing about credible sources having conversations with Diddy, or credible sources who have friends that have had conversations or interactions with Diddy where it lines up where he's either trying to fuck them as a dude, or he's trying to do some creepy shit with some younger women or younger kids. We're seeing videos with him where he's talking about he wanted to basically adopt Justin Bieber. And he didn't get that paperwork, but that's what he was trying to work towards. There's other scenarios. There's the one recently where it was a girl who I think was a friend of one of his kids or whatever that he adopted, but was making, I don't know if the video is jokey, but to me, jokey or not, it's gross.
Yeah, I feel that.
So it's like, it's not like he's done a bunch of tone deaf things where I'm now saying, you know what, now that's substantiated. It's like, you're doing a bunch of things that just lines up with the behavior of somebody who does this shit.
Fair enough.
And for it to be where we're having people who raid your property, regardless of what the purpose was, what those people do is address terrorism type shit.
Yeah, but we also know the difference between like they will raid our properties a lot quicker than they would raid other people's properties. Like how long did it take them to raid Jeff Epstein's property? How long did it take them to do that?
We don't know how long they've been building this case.
But what I'm saying is like in the context of things, like the Diddy story dropped and they raided. Like the Jeff Epstein thing, I feel like it was like so, like we watched it extend for so long before it was like, all right, we're gonna take it real right
I'm so
now.
mad that you gotta leave in 9 minutes.
But I do want to say this. Yeah. All of these things said, like I don't disagree with anything that y'all are saying in terms of like all of the flags that exist.
Yeah.
It's honest to God, just the fact that I'm like, yo, it just sucks that like we're gonna lose somebody like that, and to what he
I
means
understand
to,
what that means.
You know what I mean?
Understand.
In so many ways. So it's like if there is a chance that I can be on the side and it ends up being that it isn't real, I'd rather that be. And then when it is real, then it's like, all right, now judgment it can be passed. Now it's like.
What if I take it off Diddy? What if I take it off Diddy for a second?
But,
maybe I take it off Diddy, and this becomes like same person, same accused, whatever.
Yeah.
But white. Because I want to take it. You know what I mean?
Like literally, it's Epstein.
How differently are you feeling? How less speculative are you because it's just another white dude?
I mean, for me, I think my perspective on that is the fact that it's like, yo, with white people, there's a lot of support in the background. So like, I don't feel bad passing jokes because like, your lawyer's probably nice. You probably have people in the court system, so on and so forth. So it's like the jokes don't affect the case as much as I feel like the jokes affect the case. for us because we're in the public eye so much.
But what if I say, like,
don't see it that way.
I don't know. I don't feel like our jokes, like, I don't feel like we have that same power. Like, I don't think what we talk about on Black Twitter.
Oh, absolutely.
No,
Black Twitter.
Bro, we had Young Thug is Young Thug is in court right now dealing with the same thing. Where it's like, yo, what the fuck? Like whatever it is that's on him or whatever. It's like, yo, like they are constantly like digging deeply in court into like lyrics and things that were posted on Twitter and It's like all that shit. To me, it means something in terms of just being like, yo, like I know that, and this is something that like it's discussed a lot again in like music and entertainment is the fact that it's like, yo, they like you can't have anything unless you're in the public eye because it's easier for us to take it away if you fucking act wrong. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, oh, like we have everything on record as opposed to like, you know, you do it in the background. There's not that many records or whatever. So it's like the public doesn't have that much to fucking go on or roast on or like riff. You know what I mean?
Do you feel like somebody who reaches billionaire status can be a good person?
Yes.
You think it's already happened? Or is this something that you're hoping for?
Yes, but again, I feel like out of the public eye, because some of the things is some things are just like for instance, the shorty who that everybody was talking about recently. I forgot where she was from, but white old lady who her billionaire husband died, left her the billions, and she gave it to a school to cover scholarships so that anybody who gets into that school is like it's free for them.
Okay.
But you know what I'm saying?
Did she inherit the money, or did she?
She inherited, but she's a billionaire.
That's different. If I was gifted all this money, I was a good. That means I was a $50,000 person, and then all of a sudden I'm a billionaire, and I'm gonna still act like that.
I guess to me, it's like
I mean?
how you go about making the billions, or how like that's the other story. You know what I'm saying? Like if you had to like grind it out, if you seen like 1 mil, 100 mil.
I just don't think that there's $1 billion.
I feel like if you have to go through so much more.
To your point, like what you said before, like we were talking about Diddy, like the stuff he had to do potentially to get there, and what other people have to do to get to that point. By the time you get to that billion, you're compromised.
Oh, absolutely.
Like you know what I mean? So then how can they be good, quote unquote, good billionaires? You know what I mean? Like good-hearted billionaires. You know what I mean? Like
I mean,
I think to that point.
But I think
to get to that point, like you're screwing over somebody at some point.
I think the thing is, like you can probably say that same thing about life. Like all of us have had dirty moments.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
But like as soon as you bring it to like a court case like that and you put it in the public eye, the dirty moments can be more or less dirty. You know what I mean? Because people are like, they're scrutinizing it. They're figuring out what's up. You know what I'm saying? But all that, again, yo, I'm going to say this. All that being said, all I'm saying is that I'm just...
You're not trying to condemn immediately.
You want to wait for all the facts.
I mean, there's already so much contribution to it, but at the same time, I was like, I'm not going to, just in case.
Any of the updates I'll have to send you.
I know. So when you see Diddy meme, you ain't laughing.
I'm laughing. I'm laughing. You know what I'm saying?
Shit. All right, go ahead, Billy.
No, you just reminded me of there was a Black Mirror episode. I don't remember the exact premise of it, but there was somebody who held somebody hostage, and he wanted to speak to the founder of a social media network. And he couldn't get in contact with him because he was out doing like some wellness retreat where he was disconnected from everything. Basically, like almost like a Mark Zuckerberg. Like you come from nothing, you make something. All that to say is, when he finally did talk to him, and then they had the police feeding him what to say, and the guy read right through that, and then he just came clean. He's like, sorry, they're telling me what to say. He's like, honestly, I don't even know how I got here. I just started something with my friends, and then before you know it, it snowballs, and then people take over. So it's like, you could start something that's pure, with pure intentions, but at some point, if it's a good enough idea that the government could take advantage of, or an agency bigger than you could take advantage of, it's not you anymore. But you're gonna make billions. So you're gonna become a billionaire, but you're gonna be compromised.
You're gonna have you have to sell your soul.
And it's unfortunate because you might not be a compromised individual, but to see your vision grow to where you want it to go will compromise.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
Yeah,
I believe that.
That's a fact.
I believe that.
Yeah, go.
No, I was gonna say the same thing. I couldn't sleep last night because I was watching all these controversies about Kitty. Essentially, so I was watching all these videos on Twitter, right? And really and truly, this man left and had his kids get raided. I was watching all the other stuff too. It's $1 billion. Just all these people within the industry that have told him to do certain things. There's some facts behind this. Trust me, I do credible research. Okay? This man really truly was compromised, and of course his body was compromised. There's so many things that you can gotta get.
Pause. Pause.
People, that was a joke. That was a joke, by the way. But there are many people essentially that have said it straight up that he's adopted kids. He's adopted certain young kids, and adopted many people.
He can't do that. He's a megastar.
Certain things, and they've all been affected by it. So,
but what's the difference between him adopting kids and all the white celebrities that have been adopting black kids since however long?
But what are they doing with those kids? What are they doing with those kids when they?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
And I don't want to break down a black. I never break down a black man. I know.
How do we know?
I'm just saying.
And nobody's getting this information. It's not like Diddy went on.
In the mic. Yeah.
Something's wrong.
In this situation,
Something is wrong.
In this situation, it's not a black-white situation for me personally. When I look at this situation, this is someone who's doing some dirty shit. Like, it's not a matter of black or white. This is just,
I don't think it's a black and white thing.
It's definitely not a black and white thing in this case. I hear what you're saying. This isn't relevant to that, in my opinion. I don't care how long it took them to take Epstein down. Just like I don't care how long, they should have taken them both down early. It doesn't matter. Yeah. He's wrong. What if I told you I saw things that align with the accusations with my own eyes?
Okay.
Because I have.
Okay.
He did it. People have been talking about this from the 90s. Mm-hmm. They have been saying he did this, he did that, he did this, he did that. And nobody listened to them. They said it in the 2000s. They said it in 2010. So my thing is, like, what is it gonna take for people to understand that it's time for you to go? You can't just be a billionaire and that means that you're untouchable, and now I have on rose-colored glasses, and I can't see that what you're
It's an evil world we live in.
That's crazy. You said that as I wear rose-colored glasses.
I'm about to look at you like, rose-colored.
Damn, be your own.
High of a pedestal you put these quote-unquote idols on.
I guess, I mean,
that's
again, I think
wrong is wrong.
Again, I think for me, it's not even the like. It's not the high of the pedestal. Like this could be. So I was having the same conversation in flip of like the Drake situation, right? Where I'm like, yo, one of my like beefs with like the Drake situation is that like for me, I look at the era of Jay-Z, Diddy, Irv, Dash, and the conversations that they have of them coming up and how they made hip hop like a viable like pop genre. You know what I mean? And like just like them passing back and forth deals or whatnot, and just keeping, even though they were all technically like rivals, and there are a lot of like rivalry moments, there's so much of that. And I feel like it's sad that we have somebody at the level of Drake and we're not having those moments for Canada yet. You know what I mean? Like we don't have these icons coming to like the Junos and creating like a space where people have this global respect. But the way that I flipped like in terms of like the Diddy thing is just like, all I want is for these moments, or for us to be able to ride for ourselves as much as like, bro, like, we 100% know that when it's out and when it's a thing like this, like with the Diddy thing, then it's different from the fact that it's just like there's so many people who get away with shit like this that are in power that we accept. You know what I mean? I mean, our prime minister, multiple blackface moments. We laugh about it. He's still prime minister. We don't know whatever the fuck else he's doing, but like anybody who can, anybody, I mean, in terms of just like making jokes on it, putting it out into the world, so on and so forth. And
yeah,
like, you
so
know what I mean?
Those
like,
are
like,
taken as memeable moments.
They're memeable moments,
right.
Which like, you know, obviously might be something about where we are as a culture or whatever. But all I'm saying is that like, we can probably dig into somebody like that and find some like wild shit that we're like, yo, get this guy the fuck out of here. Yeah. And again, I'm gonna say this, cause I gotta say it multiple times just so like when this runs back, people aren't like, hey, yo, Trey was on this side of the world or whatever. Again,
I'm gonna cut your clip when he found guilty.
This goes live. It's like none of this is given. It's only me fucking being like, yo, Diddy's innocent. Nah. Again, all I gotta say is like, yo, if it's real, it's real, and like, but it also brings up the idea of like how we even deal with that as a culture to me, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like none of this has to do with the accusations or that human being. Mm-hmm. It more so has to do with how we handle these moments where it has nothing to do with the human being. Mm-hmm. It's the things that we're seeing and the importance of the moments that he's contributed to us in terms of being visible, in terms of being profitable, in terms of whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying?
Is that more your beef with this scenario than your beef with Diddy itself?
Oh, absolutely. It has
like how things like this
it has
handled?
Nothing to do with Diddy. It's just being able to create the space where we can still keep and learn from that without like Xing the man out of like everything completely. And it has like it's I guess it's kind of deals with the whole idea of like separating the art from the artist to an extent. You know what I mean?
You still listen to R. Kelly?
You gotta chill out. you gotta calm the fuck down, baby.
Damn. It's two-stepping on.
I leaned on it? No, I leaned on it and it almost went all the way back.
Yeah, I'm telling you, these shares are rocking. These shares are...
Trey, I think we're past your heart out. It's 9:04 right now. Just so I don't want you to be late to where you got to be.
You want to say it.
You saying like I'm kicking you off the show. I'm just trying to make sure you know.
I'm very thankful because I'm gonna go make some money right now. So
I'm thankful that you just still decided to pull up. I'm thankful it didn't get to bomb threats.
I was honestly, in hindsight, I really wish that you asked about Drake and not Diddy.
Because the thing is, I was pushing. We only have one time to choose. Maybe I should have given you the options.
Yeah, I had to. But you went there. But hey, it's a good conversation.
Yeah.
And now we know where you stand on Diddy. And
I'm also glad that I got like, you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be crazy when this drops.
I'm glad you disagree for a second.
It's gonna be a little crazy when this drops. I'm not gonna hold you.
Just turn off your notifications.
So, brother, if I can just say thank you for like rocking with us, listening to the pod, engaging with us online in real life, just being a homie now. Like it's been really dope. Just like having you just come into the fold of just being part of Mandem. Like I have nothing to do. Where we finished recording on a Friday late, and I'm like, oh, let's pull up to Tammy's because I know he's over there spinning. Like, like that's the kind of love. And we're just like, we've created a community where we can just do shit like that. And I'm just so glad that, we was able to do that.
Bro, y'all are some solid individuals through and through. I hope they don't never find no dirt on y'all.
No billions over here, bro.
I hope they don't never find, you know what I mean? I hope they'll never
We didn't compromise. We had not have to compromise.
Keep it 100, bro.
Appreciate it, man.
And you already know that we're going to link up after this a million times.
Absolutely. We still have a celebration to talk about and plan, so don't even worry.
You'll be involved, man. But yo.
So for my outro, I need you to drop the You waste you.
That's the OG one that I got rid of. Is it even?
It's getting flamed. Was that you?
Shop like Shaq.
No, I didn't delete it. I didn't transfer that one.
Shop like Shaq.
No, that's I don't even know where I did it.
Crazy.
You might just have to do it yourself.
Drop it when it drops.
Oh no, I got it here. Here you go.
Shop like Shaq. You waste you.
Thank you. Cheers. I know it's fun. I was gonna
hilarious.
I was getting ready to like go into like a whole lot more topics, but like that was. It's also just hard to like. I'm glad that as much as we wanted to have that conversation about Drake and whatever, because I think we're gonna talk about that next for sure.
Month,
I just wanted to just let that one breathe a little bit.
Let him dig his own grave, you know what I mean?
We rarely get to bump heads with somebody. Let's just do it a little bit, a little light.
Yeah.
And then when the clips play back, tag Tag them everywhere. Invite to collab.
Y'all heard it for yourselves. So y'all heard it for yourselves, right? It's all good. Oh man.
Let us. You know what? Before we crack a crawler.
Yeah.
Let's have some whiskey. I think we should have some whiskey.
I mean, we just having everything tonight. Yeah, cool.
It's a night of celebration.
But that's fine. Yeah.
We're gonna have a little bit of stiff upper lip. You can get this at select LCBOs across Ontario. It's a great whiskey for mixing, sipping on its own. It's got notes of vanilla. I'll tell you that straight up. I had that a couple days ago.
Before I got the whiskey. Y'all kicked me out. Y'all kicked me out before
You know how I'm gonna clip the segment. I'm gonna clip it where we say goodbye, and he came back.
Yes, sir.
You know, it'll still be here.
Yes, sir.
The bottle will still be here. All right, the bottle's still
I feel like I'm the dude at the club where the bottle just came. And it just. I'm just trying to stand on the couch, brother.
And no one pitched.
Nobody pitched, but I'm just trying to.
Bottle. It's just like, yo.
Stiff upper lip. It's made by the homies. It's local. You can get it in LCBO.
Yeah, that's good.
Definitely.
Ooh, come on.
I like that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Man, hold on.
Yeah. Let it breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
We said 5 hours, right? Cheers.
You got it.
That's good. You gotta let that breathe, though.
Diddy did that though, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. It's just a matter now of like, who's next?
What's funny?
You know what I mean? Like the whole industry is falling. It's crumbling.
What is that?
People aren't hiding.
Well, is it like a kid show where it was like, who's next? And somebody comes in and they start dancing. What's that?
With the dancing?
Yeah, that's what
Shit, I
heard Jay-Z's next.
I didn't want to see the name. I didn't want to see the name.
The next billionaire. The next black billionaire.
Yeah. Take them all down. Where's Oprah at?
I also heard that LeBron enjoyed Diddy parties as well.
He was a diddler. That's your goat? That's your goat? That's your king? Not mine. It's not my goat.
Yeah, Michael Jordan. Great.
Yeah, Michael Jordan's a great guy,
I didn't
right?
say Michael Jordan.
Who's your goat?
Don't worry about it.
Don't say it with your chest.
Honestly, it's Kobe. It's Kobe. It's Kobe.
If Patrick said Paul Pierce, I'd fuck him up live on his camera.
Of content? To go to content? Yeah. Paul Pierce to go to content. Show. All right, man.
That is hilarious. So I do. Before we talk about the next topic, I definitely do want to bring up the next homie, which is another crack. We got mad crawlers, so let's crack one more.
Well, I can't even speak no more. That's how many crackers we crawlers.
How many crackers got?
Clip that one up. That's crazy.
Without further ado, let's get the homie Sticks to pull up. Come on, Sticks. Let's go. Start from the middle.
What's up, bro?
Hey man, I'm happy to be here. This is amazing. Congratulations on 200.
Appreciate
As somebody
you.
who had a podcast briefly,
Yes.
I understand the grind of it all, and shout out to you guys for sticking it out. And you know, it is something that's very time consuming. Especially when you have to record, you have to set up guests, you have all the equipment, you're doing things on different locations. Yeah. And when it gets down to the editing part of it, and then posting it up, and then clipping everything, and then shout out to Malik, you know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to the edits. You know what I'm saying? You know, I gotta give love to my editors and all that
I'm
stuff.
the editor, actually.
Oh, you're the editor.
It's me.
Okay,
He does all the evergreen.
but shout out to the creative team here.
Creative
because
director,
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
also part of the time consumption. So the fact that you guys have reached 200 episodes, it's amazing, and just what you've contributed to the media ecosystem in Toronto, especially the black media ecosystem, because before, like, really the first, like, podcast was Galcast, you know what I'm saying? Like,
That's the one I knew of. That's why I kind of was wondering, what is a podcast? That's when I asked the question.
It was Galcast, and then you start seeing other people, like, kind of popping up. So the fact that you know, you guys kind of carried that. You made it your own. Yeah. I remember when you guys got your first one. I don't know if I can say it. Mary Brown's.
Yeah.
I don't know, yo. But when you guys got Mary Brown's, I was so excited for you guys. I'm just like, yo, these guys like really grinded, got out the mud and everything else like that. I'm just like, yo, you know, East End youths getting their things up. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, yeah, no, I was very, very proud of you guys as always. Just who you guys are as men. Period. Like, you know, guys who I really respect and, you know, really admire, and just glad I'd be able to come up with you guys as well. Obviously from like different lanes, but you know, Shaq briefly working together, you know what I mean? So no, it's been amazing to witness your growth and where you guys go from here. The sky's the limit for you guys just because you guys are very talented. You guys are very great. You're very resourceful, for one. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys are very organized. You guys respect other people's time. You respect other people, and that's really going to dictate the success that you're going to eventually get. Just because that's the type of people that you are. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to let you guys know.
That's amazing.
Thank you. You know, that's my word and it sticks, baby. You know what I'm saying?
That's hard. That's hard.
Let me crack this over
Before you pulled up, you got the blueberry basil. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Listen, I had blueberry pancakes yesterday, so yeah, yo, cheers. Cheers to the mandem. You already know.
Yes.
Don't know.
Cheers.
Yeah. It's a buy.
You know, like the Cat Williams, like, what's in there, nigga? Something in there, nigga. Something in there. It's like, what is this? That's good.
Nice. Before you came on, I was telling Patrick, and I'm like, so I've been in a town hall meeting at work with Sticks. I've been what do they call it? The EIG. We were in an EIG meeting with Sticks.
Yeah.
And when they say, does anybody have anything to say or any questions, Sticks got something to say, and he's going to stand up and he's going to say it. So was I surprised?
Since grade school.
Was I surprised when you had a lot of amazing things to say before we had anything to say when you pulled up right here? No. Was I honored that we were part of that company of people where you felt like you had to say something nice and like I know you feel you're not just saying that shit.
Right.
Yeah, that felt really good. So I really appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Sharing.
Always.
Yeah, this is a man who like I didn't even know, and I knew you, and like it was just because you show so much love to people in the city, and just you're a supporter, like
Did
a
you
true
know
supporter.
Sticks before the pod?
Yeah, a little bit.
Like we ran into each other.
It's like friends are friends.
Yeah.
Like we see.
When you're from Scarborough, you just like,
you know what I mean? It's automatic.
Exactly.
I remember I ran into you before the pod around Union. You were probably doing some MLSC shit, but we didn't know each other. I think we just followed each other. So
Yeah.
I just remember like, hey, Sticks, it's me, I'm Shaq. And I don't remember what the thing that I said was like the connector.
Yeah.
And you gave me the, all right, see you later. I'm like, this nigga don't know me.
I do remember that. Yo, I was going to work, yo. I think I was going to work or something.
No, the energy was too high. You're going to a game or something. That's what it was.
Oh, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's been really good to actually, like, we've truly formed a relationship purely on the pod, similarly to what I was just saying with Tremaine, which is just like that's hard to say, especially in a creative world, especially in a creative city, especially in the creative city called Toronto, where like people are like
very
everybody's rivals. I'm supposed to hate on what you're doing over there. You're from that side of the city, stay on that side. I'm from over here in the suburbs. You don't want to, it just and it was none of that. And that's what I really feel proud about this podcast with people like you, people like Tremaine. It just kind of broke down whatever that stereotype was for what it is to be in the city. Like all of us as creators, like we just kick it. You don't know Tremaine, and you got we're all kicking and kicking it. Like we all on the same. We all, you know what I mean? And I love that.
And the thing, and the biggest thing for me is just like I think that's a product of being from Scarborough. Just because when you're from the east,
you're gonna take your chance to put on Scarborough anytime you can.
Listen, I'm wearing a Scarborough swag. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't do it. So he had to do it.
Is this Scarborough? You know what I'm saying? You got the East End kid and everything. I was like that. Like, listen, when you're from the East End and you already have that label of being an outsider, just like okay, you support Scarborough people. When I moved to Leaside after college and everything else like that, I was just going downtown. I'm just like okay, I wasn't around between 2007 and 2010, like, kind of downtown in the space, whatever. But as a 21-year-old and like, on Twitter and just going to different events because there was known unknown. Yeah. And then there was like, the manifesto showcases. Yep. I remember Urbanology. I'm like bumped with a lot of people, just wanted to meet new people. And, I had my blog, and then, I'm trying to make it as an editor and everything else like that. And really it's just like, I just wanted to support other creative people doing the shit that I was doing, and I had no biases, I had no malice. Like, look, I'm from Scarborough, I'm gonna support you from Scarborough, period. But it's just like, okay, you're from Brampton, okay, you're from downtown, you're from Saga, whatever. Cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't bring any of that to me. It's just like, okay, I see that you're doing something. I'm gonna support what you're doing. You're good at what you do. Whatever I can lend out, and because I was like very online, my Twitter presence, whenever, I'm just like, whatever I can do to like kind of just boost, amplify what you're doing, it costs nothing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm just like, it's not taking anything away from me.
Hear that from
and that's the thing, because Toronto, as much as it's the screwface capital, it's also the scarcity mentality that they operate with. They feel like, oh, okay, there's not enough for you have a podcast, I have a podcast, you're taking away from my audience. I'm just like, you have your own lane, I have my own lane.
We're doing different shit.
You know what I'm saying? When I had my podcast, it was just conversational. I wasn't trying to get into like, doing music or anything else like that. But
your stuff was a lot, I feel like it was heavy, like life conversation.
It was for sure. And obviously that was reflecting on what I was going through at the time. But at the same time, just like, okay, I'm not looking at that as I'm not looking at other people's podcasts as a threat to mine, because I'm like, oh, I'm losing an audience or whatever. I'm just like, well, people have the capacity to listen to different things. Like they have the capacity to watch 5 different shows between Netflix, Amazon Prime, Hulu, Disney Plus, Stars, all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you can diversify your consumerism. So it's just like, all right, it costs nothing to just support. And if we're doing the same thing, I want you to succeed because your success is not going to take away from my success. So I'm just like.
So if I can build on that, and just like it reminds me of when we were starting this podcast. And if I'm going to be honest, like the only podcast that I listened to before this, well, there was 2. I was listening to Brilliant Idiots, and then I was listening to Joe Budden podcast. Right. The only one that I still consistently listen to, and this is not including anything, like I've never even got any new podcasts yet, really. Like Drink Champs I listen to every now and then, but the Joe Budden podcast I've listened to over many iterations of what that was, and that's been like my thing. The hardest thing for me was to really, or for us I feel, is to actually give credit to the Joe Budden podcast for the influence that it really had on what this is. Like when we were, especially when we're starting out, I think we had to really step away from like giving them the shout out and the love, because you want to find your own voice. Find your own niche. But like I want to we're on episode 200. I want to actually be able to say like that podcast, Joe Budden himself, and just like the way that he moves in his business mind and his podcast mind. Like I really like that's a blueprint of mine that I look at and say, okay, how do I do mine?
I feel we gotta mention, because we brought up Urbanology before.
Yes.
Did you not interview Joe Budden on Urbanology?
Oh yeah, I forgot. I did that. I did that. But it was a completely different context. He was
Mood Music era.
He was dropping. He was dropping one of his albums. And I don't know. It was just very love and hip hop focused, because I think it was like his first season. But it just like in hindsight, it's crazy to go back and look like I interviewed him too. But like it just I feel like I'm at a stage, or at least in a place, especially as we're wrapping this thing, is like I just want to shout out, show love, give respect, pay homage.
It's about giving flowers,
and give flowers to everybody that like I feel like should have, because this pod is what it is. It's got its own heartbeat. It's got its own tone of voice. It's got its own image. It is not the Joe Budden podcast. It's not 101. We've done our own things, but I do want to show love and say like that was one that I saw, and that was actually my inspiration. I said, okay, I feel like I can do that.
Right. And there's no shame in doing that, because just like everyone's inspired by something,
for sure,
in order to like want to go and create the thing that they want to do. You know what I'm saying? There's no harm, no foul in being like, you know what, I drew inspiration from this thing, for me to want to go and pursue my own thing. You know what I mean?
It's always good to draw inspiration. Like Jesus and Meryl, I looked like
that's a good one too.
Man,
those guys.
And I worked at Vice.
That's right. You were at Vice.
When Jesus and Meryl was on, and so it was just like it was really inspiring and everything else like that. And like even during my time there and meeting who I met there and how that influenced and really changed my career and life period. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's always important to pay homage, give flowers and all that, just because you're showing not only like you're showing respect to those who came before you or even those who are just like across from you.
Facts.
But it's just like you're setting the tone and setting the example for the people to come behind you. Because it's just like, you know what, they're doing this, it doesn't cost anything, it doesn't take any mental, emotional, physical labor to just pay homage, show flowers. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. And by the way, I'm not on a time restriction, so if you want to keep me on here as long as possible.
I know that.
Because we got all these mans that are so important. It's like, hey, I got a time card. I got a hard out. Just like, wait a second, I didn't get the call sheet before you got here, sir.
This guy said,
Mr. Producer.
Sticks heard hard out. And he's like, is there a call sheet? I'm like, there is.
There's a call sheet. My bad.
And I say, Sticks is a staple on Twitter in Toronto. I just want to say inspiration, of course, to everyone.
People know that.
Another thing too is that Shaq definitely wanted to be Joe Budden to start the podcast, but I'm like, Shaq, you're more interesting. Do your thing.
I didn't start. No, I dressed better than Joe Budden.
Oh,
period.
okay.
Todd the Ting Dad.
I found his own voice. I'm just saying. Everything was
I know that was one thing. I'm glad you brought that up because I was gonna say,
guys, a lot of it is the fact that I'm a bald, light-skinned dude with a beard. Like that's just you guys that's just what it is.
You guys are just both tethered commons. You know what I'm saying?
Tethered commons.
Like,
Tethered commons is crazy. Is he the
multiverse of?
Is Common 616?
What is this? Multiverse of Common? What is this?
Yes.
Common is Earth 616.
Yes.
Damn.
But we're not the same complexion. How do I fall in that?
What do you mean you're not the? Hold on. What do you mean you're not the? Put your arms up right now.
No, I'm not.
Put your arms up.
I got no
Don't piss
hair.
me off.
If I took the hair off, I'm gonna look mad.
Don't piss me off. Damn. Both of your wives are here. They can confirm. Okay, put your arms up.
I didn't know I was that light skinned, bro. Am I light skinned?
You're brown.
I thought I was browning. I thought I was a browning. Like, damn. Hey,
that's hilarious. You played ball like Common.
Celebrity All-Star MVP or something? I feel like.
What were you gonna say about me and Joe Budden?
No, to bring it back to that, like, I hated that for a while because I was like, I didn't want to be like Joe Budden.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it was like, nah, like we gotta carve our own lane and our own lane. And it wasn't until you said this now, I'm like, you know what? Like, yeah, we do gotta pay homage because that kind of was a blueprint, and then we did our own thing with it for sure. So if we can be that blueprint for someone else, hopefully, and take this and run with it. But yeah, I did not want to be like Joe Budden. And like when people would ask, like, what's this podcast like? I always I was like, no, I'm not saying it's like Joe Budden. And then I'd end up saying it's like the Joe Budden podcast. And then it was
But just Toronto.
But then Toronto. Yeah. But then it's like then we found our own lane, our own voice, and I didn't have to compare us to anyone else.
Well, it also started changing. I feel like as we started to grow or get comfortable with our platform, it was like, let's talk more about what we're dealing with because I feel like this is important. It wasn't like when it started, we were young, like we were late 20s.
Yeah, mid to late 20s.
Mid to late 20s, and like still figuring a lot of shit out.
Yeah.
So we were just trying to emulate or imitate a lot of things, and it wasn't like. I feel like we didn't feel like we were trying to cater our audience to other guys or other people that were going through the same type of shit that we were until like maybe you got married, until maybe I started getting into a more serious relationship, then getting married and all, you know what I mean? So now the things we talk about are different. The way we talk about the old things is a little bit different.
Facts.
You know, there's a little bit more care on what this platform is, I feel, versus last.
Nah, that's it. It is.
Versus,
it's growth.
Yeah, you listen to the first year. Hey. I've got to do that in my spare time,
bro.
And it might be hard, but
Mandem Anonymous days?
Mandem Anonymous. That's Mandem what. Yeah, Anonymous. That was the name. Yeah, that was the name of the OG pod.
That's crazy. Like we were trying to be incognito.
We were trying to be able to talk all kind of bullshit without.
But my thing is just like, why is that such a Toronto thing? The whole mysterious, lay low, all this time. Just like
the city's too small, man.
Who cares? years.
From Scarborough.
Like,
Okay,
first of all,
you know what it was?
Brampton,
But
y'all literally know everybody. You walk
Yeah.
outside, just like, oh, what time?
But Sticks, you know what it was though? It was the fact that career-wise, it was a lot of question marks. I didn't know where I didn't have like a solid like I'm here.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, and there was also like do you choose to like what's the word? I don't know what the better way of saying it, but like, am I really gonna be myself externally online for when that person does a quick Google search about me?
Yep.
Like, it wasn't until 2020 that I started getting tattoos and things like that are like you can really see all the fucking time.
Right.
So there was like a lot of care as to like how I would present in the world. So I feel like there was I don't give a fuck anymore. Probably around 2020 for us.
Yeah.
In terms of our podcast being a little bit more
a lot of
unapologetic.
people, in and around that time, just like, all right,
Which is where I feel like we actually went back to what the Mandem Anonymous was supposed to be.
Yes.
But from the voices of some guys who have been through some shit, and we don't feel like we gotta hide.
Nah.
Like, so
we can actually be ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
Let's talk about some pod shit again.
Let's go.
Go to the other topic.
We podding, bro.
Let's get into it. That was an episode title. Now we podding.
Now we podding was episode 100.
We're gonna talk about that.
Now we've podded.
Now we've podded.
Part 2. Finn. So we it's what, a week of Future Metro. We've had some time for that shit to breathe.
I got beef with you because you're like,
We'll talk about it.
So Future Metro, they dropped their album last week, We Don't Trust You. Everything's produced by Metro. We've got Future in there on all the songs, but he's got a couple crazy features that Kendrick we're gonna definitely get into. The Weeknd. I recall that The Weeknd, when Diddy had his Love album drop or whatever, The Weeknd said that was going to be his last feature ever. I think he saw what was going on with Diddy and felt like he needed to correct and be on a different side of history. So he dropped another. He had another feature with Metro, all right. And Metro is saying they're not even close to being done. I don't know.
All right, we'll see.
I'm just saying what he said and what I saw happened.
Right.
I'm just saying, we'll see.
He recanted his statement.
Okay. Because one thing about Mr. Abel Tesfaye, from the great city of Scarborough,
side,
he's very aware, but also on top of his humanitarian efforts and his philanthropy and everything else like that, it's just like what you mentioned, be on the right side of history. Yeah, he's on the right side of history a lot. So it's just like, all right, let me just. So let me just do some spiritual hymnal vocals on Young Metro, which is fantastic. Yeah. Especially when you're doing deadlifts, you're just like, yes.
So
what?
Doing deadlifts.
When you're doing deadlifts, you're listening to. All right, man.
Well, he's not listening to like Weeknd doing deadlifts. He's listening to Metro Weeknd doing deadlifts. It's a very different Weeknd.
All right, next time I'm gonna listen to this again when I'm in the gym, and I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you.
That weekend is like this one weekend.
Turn the volume up a little bit.
I will. I'm gonna let you know. Because I tried. It was not.
Just really lock in, sir.
It was not working.
So We Don't Trust You has basically become hip hop Civil War. I love the Avengers Civil War or Captain America Civil War. It was great to see people split and go on both sides.
It's my favorite movie for a while.
And now we get to see that as far as hip hop goes, over nothing. It's great.
Over nothing?
It's over allegedly like a woman.
No, allegedly it's about a couple. It's been bubbling for a while. It's been like 10 years.
But I'm just saying, as a rap fan, to just see hip hop split like this, at first you just start getting real reminiscent of the times we had. What a Time to Be Alive will probably never happen. What a Time to Be Alive 2, we keep talking about that being a thing. It's never happening probably.
Just like Watch the Throne 2.
Kendrick and J. Cole doing an album.
Kendrick and J. Cole.
I give up on that like 5-6 years ago.
That might maybe.
It hasn't happened. If it's not happening, it's not happening. It's okay.
Drake needs to be vanquished in order for that to happen.
Yo, you know what's crazy? Okay. So we didn't get to. I wanted to bring this up on a pod. Oh my god. So we went to a comedy show like maybe a few months ago, and American comedy acts, Kev on Stage and Yes, That Thing Angel. And
I thought you said That Thick Angel. I'm
no,
like,
that Thick Angel.
That Thick Angel.
Yeah,
that's a name. I like it.
So,
I like that. It's funny too.
It is
a little bit.
It is. So we go to a comedy show, and Americans, typical Americans. No disrespect.
What's typical Americans? I was about to. Hey,
No disrespect.
I was about to cake.
The elbows might come up.
I was about to cake.
No, but
Yeah,
she
yeah.
Americans will say a few things.
Oh, we got two of us now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, we got double PR, both sides. Hey, we got an American PR and a Canadian PR.
Yourself more in the hole.
No, I know. No, don't worry. Okay, so here we go. So they were trying to relate with the crowd, right? Number one thing we were hosting is like know your audience, right? So they're trying to. They bring out Drake. They're like, oh, we're gonna do some Drake stuff. The crowd boos. Mm-hmm. And I've noticed this the past few times I've been out in Toronto. Drake songs will come on and people like come off the dance. They're not messing with Drake. And I noticed this and I was like, we talked about this. We're like, yo, this is kind of crazy. And now it's like this whole thing happens and you look online and you see there's barely anyone rocking with Drake. And I feel like the last few people that were standing with Drake was Torontonians. And now
it's just
we've kind of turned on,
international
not saying that
things.
we've turned on Drake, but hold on. Overall, it feels like Drake's got to a point now where he is now the villain. You know, when you become too powerful, you become the man on top for too long.
That's a fact.
You become the villain, right? You either, what was the quote? You die a hero, you live long enough to
see yourself become the villain. Mm-hmm.
So I feel like he's in that status, and Toronto is now the last group of people who were rocking with Drake heavy, and I'm seeing that change, and now seeing this chatter online. There's a lot of people on the
You don't think that's a bold
side.
statement to say that Toronto's the last? I feel like Toronto should be rocking with him, but it just shows you a lot if Toronto's not.
I don't feel like Toronto was ever rocking with him the way that we would have thought he was. The same way that Toronto doesn't rock with the Raptors. The same way that Toronto doesn't rock with Toronto.
We're fickle people.
Capital.
We are very
Toronto's
fickle
hater
people.
capital. You'll hear somebody be, that Toronto accent. Toronto will hate on themselves before anybody else can because they think that that's an easy out. So it's like they'll see the hate coming. Like, oh yeah, no, I don't like it either.
Yeah.
And they're waiting to see what you're gonna say.
Somebody else got to validate my
because
shit.
they would rather someone else validate them before they validate themselves. Us, I mean, in Toronto.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we're part of it, but like when you talk of the whole of the city, I feel like that's what Toronto does. Like we're not. Think of a city like Boston, for example. I'm talking about just sports.
Off-brand state.
Yes, off-brand Massachusetts, off-brand state, absolutely. But Boston, the city, when it comes to winning in sports, they're rocking with them regardless.
For sure.
Yeah.
Regardless, win or lose. Boston Celtics had some horrible years too.
Yeah.
They didn't jump ship. The Raptors have a bad.
The Paul Pierce years before they won the
come
chip.
on.
Yeah,
Paul
Paul Pierce had some dark days.
Antoine Walker
Paul
years?
Pierce had some dark
Paul
days.
Pierce mostly had dark days.
But they still killed the Raptors, which I hated.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
But the Raptors don't. We don't rock with ourselves like that. We gotta wait. LA likes us. New York likes us. Wait, London likes
the
us.
outside
Everybody
validation
likes
that we
us?
needed. Yeah, that's true.
I kind of like us.
But we did.
We still don't fully like ourselves.
But Drake was different though.
Masai tells us every
Drake
year.
was different. I feel like
I've never felt like
At the
Drake-
beginning, like
like
so far
07,
gone,
like, okay,
comeback
09,
season, thank me later, take care.
Take care, yeah.
It started turning like after Views.
When he became a pop star.
After Views is when it like turned. It's like okay. It just felt like he was just oversaturating the market. It was just like, okay, I even wrote blog posts about him, just like, go away for a while. Give us a chance
He
for
never
us to
goes
like,
away
miss
though.
you.
He never goes
You know
away.
what I'm saying? But he never went away. He was just always needing to be there. I'm just like, fam, you don't have to be there all the time. Like,
But in Toronto, I've never felt like you could go to, like you said, you've been out and you see the way people react to Drake. I've never really felt a strong reaction to Drake out in Toronto before. But when I realized who Drake really was when we went out in LA.
Yes.
I believe
It's always in the States.
Brandon might have been with us. Yeah, we were. We went to Bungalow, I believe. Or we went to, I forget the name of the place, regardless, doesn't matter. We were out in LA. Actually, every time we went out in LA, when they played Drake, the reaction was insane.
Yeah,
and
they
that
go
was
up.
the first time where I was like, wow,
This guy's
the world
yeah.
likes Drake. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter what Toronto thinks, but the world likes Drake. And funny enough, not like, not for anything, not even for what's going on right now, but I remember a couple times they played Kendrick. the reaction was half.
I do remember,
And
yeah.
I was surprised because
YG gets it. Well, it's a club thing, so YG gets way more.
Yeah,
love, but,
it
like,
doesn't really make Drake. I mean, club hits. So,
But you'd think that like people would care. So like I was just excited to see because I'm in LA. I want to see how people think about. But it's the same thing like Toronto, I guess, to a certain degree, where it's like hometown love is fickle. Hometown love is fickle. I think that's.
Damn, hometown love is fickle.
Very valid points.
Listen, I remember seeing something from you too about the Screwface capital. This is why Toronto cannot have good things, okay? Listen, this is exactly the reason why Toronto can have good things. I'm a fellow Graham, okay? Aubrey Graham, Brandon Graham. But
you're not cousins, but I mean,
I've all. It isn't
did you give Krista that line too?
I don't do it for the gram. I do it for the grams, of course, 100%. Listen, Drake's music. If you follow Grand Chat Wizard on Instagram, you follow a bunch of things on Instagram. They are in love with Drake. Doesn't matter what Drake does, he can never do any wrong. Okay,
right.
It's just a city. For some reason, we cannot have good things, and that needs to change. Because I'm the biggest Drake. I wouldn't say stan, but I would say supporter over time. From the start, I didn't even know his last name was Graham. I'm like, listen,
my last name is Graham.
Fan of this from time, and I'm just saying, in the States, they love Drake. In Toronto, we have to do the exact same thing because he's the greatest artist that we have right now. The greatest artist we'll ever have out of Toronto. I'm sorry, Tremaine. He's the greatest artist we'll ever have out of Toronto, and that's it.
That's a bold statement to say we'll ever have.
I mean,
he's the biggest artist in the world.
But the problem, the problem is, and then that is part of the problem. When you're the big, like, because of we churned out Drake, The Weeknd, Bieber. Yeah. And it's just like, if you're not the biggest artist in the world, you can't be the biggest artist in the city. But also, Drake and OVO had such a blockade. It's just like he never allowed anybody in the city to be bigger than him. Because we know that there are very talented people here who have the ability to do that. But it's just like, I got this on deck. I got this on a stranglehold. So it's like, you're gonna have to go and make your bones somewhere else. Honestly, somebody who I believed who could have been as big, but he passed away in 2015 is Redway. You know what I'm saying? Like Redway, like, you know, he was able to, he had the hits and he was a great rapper and everything else like that. But obviously, it's time cut short. But you know, we have like Claremont II, we got Josh John, and R&B wise, like, you know, we're doing great things too. So but step to the mic, please.
I just want to say something very quickly, and it's just on your point that you made. I think Toronto's just tired of Drake. And I don't think he's actually for our generation anymore.
Facts.
He has actually moved on to
the younger one.
He's always stayed young. That's the craziest thing.
It's the same demo. He's just never grown.
He's never grown.
And that's part of my frustration.
We've just outgrown him. Just from experience, he was in Buffalo and had 2 sold-out shows there. And the majority of people that were there were under the age of 25.
Damn.
So it tells you who he's pulling.
Damn.
And they were excited to see him. They were out in droves, and I feel like we were like that when
we were 25.
Right.
Facts.
I think that's 10 years ago.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And 10 years ago are the albums we're talking about.
Exactly.
Those are the songs we're pulling from.
It's true.
The last time I was like, oh, Drake was great, was when we were talking about summer
16?
Yeah. And we've been reminiscing ever since. When it's summer 26, it's gonna be a problem.
10-year anniversary.
10-year anniversary of summer 16.
So let's go back to let's go back to what I was talking about originally though. It's the Future Metro album that dropped. So We Don't Trust You. In hindsight, after listening to that, it just seems like the whole album pretty much is a Drake diss.
Yes.
The whole album, whether like from the title, We Don't Trust You is just they're talking to Drake, and then you also have the Prodigy coming in and out of every song. That's talking about Drake.
Especially when it comes to where that interview stemmed from. Like, you know, he's talking about
what was I don't know. I'm not even familiar what the interview was.
I only saw this online, but I know that he was like, you know, talking about Joe Budden. A lot of it too, and like just talking about like, you know, how he just hated different rappers and just like, you know, people were corny.
Oh right, that's why Joe Budden said he had a hard time saying this album's not
because
about me.
He knew that, you know, he was talking about him, right? So having those, you know, just weaved into the whole storyline and everything else like that too, it's just like, damn. And then you look at the features on there, it's like, all right, Kendrick's on there, and then Rick Ross is on there, and like Everyday Hustle is amazing, by the way.
The Rick Ross one is surprising though. Not to cut you off,
I still need to go back to it.
It's surprising to me because not to say Rick Ross isn't Rick Ross without Drake, but is he Rick Ross without Drake? Like
he had 3 number 1 albums before Drake had his debut.
But what I'm saying,
hustling.
Hold on. What I'm saying is though,
and he made back music.
I'm gonna take it back to COVID times and when they were doing verses. Right, the verses between I think it was Rick Ross and 2 Chainz.
That was a great one. That was
a Drake showcase. Like every song was featuring Drake. So
on both sides.
I look at someone like Rick Ross, and it's like, yeah, you were big before Drake, but you got even bigger. Some of your biggest hits are with a guy like Drake. So what happened? Like to me, it's like, what happened between the two?
He has, I don't know. He's got a lot of moments that had nothing to do with Drake. Like the
and
BMF
when you really
one,
think,
like,
but when you really think about it, is Drake hopping on Ross's shit?
That's also what
you know what I'm saying?
Was.
I don't know.
Drake hopped. Well, Drake is known for hopping on what is hot. But Rick Ross has been hot at multiple moments.
But like, is it Drake hopping on what's hot, or rappers choosing who's hot to bring on their song to make it even hotter?
It could be both. It could be both. And as we've seen, just like Drake is an opportunist. If somebody is big and hot at the moment, he's going to be like, all right. That's why they always talk about the Drake stimulus.
Yeah.
Because if it's like, all right, if Drake is on your thing, you're gonna go up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So there's that truth to it.
Does anybody? Because I was having a conversation with my friend about this the other day. Does anybody remember Kendrick Lamar on Take Care?
Buried Alive, yes. I'm a Kendrick fan.
Yeah. But I'm just saying because because he wasn't credited on it.
That's crazy.
He wasn't credited on it.
Yeah, it was uncredited.
But I'm just saying, like, in the context of all this, like, it's just funny to think because somebody, like, you could argue that Drake put them all on.
Nah, Kendrick was doing his.
Kendrick got a Drake cosign.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? No. But it's just like Dr. Dre, not Drake. Dr. Dre.
Oh, Dre co-signed.
Drake, and then Section 80 was like.
But I'm saying in the context of Take Care dropping, and I'll say from my perspective because.
Well, when did Pimp a Butterfly come out after that? Like, I'm assuming it did.
But like Section 80 before was.
Section 80, then it was Good Kid, Mad City. It came out in 2012.
Yeah.
But when you look at the fact that yes, that was there, and they had Poetic Justice together, but at the same time, it's like, it was the introduction to like mainstream people, like to Drake fans and whatnot. It's just like, okay, this is Kendrick Lamar.
He introduced him. He introduced mainstream to a certain degree.
To a certain degree, yes, but he still was on his own trajectory because Section 80 was really good. Overly Dedicated was really good. So like he already was building his momentum there, and then by the time it got to his debut of Good Kid, Mad City, it's just like, all right, that's that. You know what I'm saying? So
no, I was just saying I found it interesting because I forgot that he was even on it at all. I'm like, well, what is affiliation with Drake anyways? And I thought of the recent collabs. Yeah. And then I went back to like 2010 when Take Care came out. I'm like, oh, this has been happening for a while. Like it's not like they just met each other. In
right.
They've been knowing each other. Like blog. Yeah, exactly. Blog
era. There was that whole collective of artists like. Guys who get forgotten. Schoolboy Q, Big Sean. Big Sean gets forgotten a lot.
ASAP was in there.
Isn't it crazy that fucking Problems is the closest that we got to like most of these people being on the same song together?
Yeah.
Why is fucking Problems the only one that we got? It's like such a like.
It's really random, like great song. But it's just but it is really random. Just like, of all the songs.
Yeah. I wish it was a Maybach music.
That would have been nice.
That would have been nice.
Come on now. Imagine all of them on the Maybach
Gunplay probably would have watched everybody. So
Gunplay would have watched everybody.
I mean, Power Circle. Kendrick was on Power Circle, but Gunplay was crazy. And Gunplay watched Kendrick on Cartoons and Cereal.
I love that you said Gunplay randomly out of nowhere because
I love Gunplay.
I love Gunplay too.
The Bible on the Dash. Yo, the Acquitted mixtapes. Yo, fam.
He's a little too crazy. Yams. Oh man, I remember playing Yams in university one time. I don't know if you were in the computer lab at this time, but I was playing.
Wait, we had a computer lab?
It was the John Fitzgerald class.
Oh yeah, the Mac. Yeah.
And I told Coco the Fitzy story where we were watching March Madness in the room. Where like we got to the class early and found that there was a room inside this room that had a TV. I turned the TV on and it had cable. So we watched March Madness and we just sat there before the class started.
That's real.
The class started.
That's real.
And we're still in this room. And we're like, eventually we went out into the class. we fuck with this guy so much that by the time we opened the door, everybody started dying. He just was like, I don't have any time for this. Just sit down. Sit the fuck down.
These are adults in school. This is in high school.
Shout out to Fitz.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. But I remember I was playing Yams in the lab one time, and I can't remember homegirl's name. Caron or Kerwin or whatever. The black girl.
Yeah.
I was playing Yams, and it was just, I don't know, regular Rick Ross and gunplay lyrics.
She did not.
She went
not
like
happy about that.
Yeah, somebody compared her to Oprah in the moment, and I don't know who it was. Who was it? I think it was Rudy. I think it must have been Rudy.
Oprah.
But she went crazy. She was just basically like, "Why does everything you listen to gotta sound like that?" I was like,
"It doesn't."
Anyways, that's a whole other conversation. But like, Gunplay is.
People need to appreciate Gunplay.
Yeah.
Gunplay was a
Gunplay Don Logan. Please appreciate Don Logan.
Roll it. I might listen to that later.
That's like my underrated guy. You know what I'm saying? Like people don't understand. Like I really love
Rick Ross's feature on the Rollin' remix. I'm going deep. I'm going.
I'm after you're gonna have to play.
Anyways, back to the beef itself that we're trying to get to. So the song that just came out, what's it called? Like That.
Like That.
First off, the sample.
Shout out to the
I had to dig it up the other day.
That Barry White.
It was no.
I mean,
the original. Yeah,
the
you're going
Barry
back.
White,
Yeah. Everlasting Bass by Rodney O and Joe Cooley.
Compton Group. I think from the West Coast.
Most Wanted?
No, not Compton Most Wanted, but like
they're from Compton. You said.
Yes.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, that beat's
crazy.
I went back and listened to the.
It's so catchy.
That beat's.
It sticks in your head.
Unfortunately, my record. Not even unfortunately. Fortunately for me, it went back to Hard Body by Lil Wayne. I don't know if you guys know that one. Hard Body. That he sampled this and he did a freestyle on this during his drought era.
Okay. Shout out to Wayne.
Part 2, part 3, part 4.
This was
That's
like three. It was three.
Three? Shout out to Drought 3.
So the beat, I was already sold.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I'm just listening to Future on this beat, which doesn't make any traditional sense until you tell me that Metro made the beat.
Right.
You know, if you told me like this is the sample and Future's gonna be on this, that is crazy.
Right.
See, I want Future on more beats like this.
And this one,
yeah.
So Future's he's doing his
thing. It felt like
on
a 21 Savage beat.
21 Savage would kill this.
Because like,
he does
think
a lot
about
of
all the
these,
stuff that Metro and Savage have done together.
Inside Drake though. If we're building out a civil war,
yeah, but no, I think he's trying to be neutral. If I'm going to be honest,
he's 100% trying to be neutral.
He's trying to be neutral.
Like,
yeah,
I am like, I am British. Like I am not even.
He's not signing those accords, yo. He's with Drake, yo. He's on that side, yo.
So the beat is what it is. Yeah. Future's doing what he's doing. Metro's doing what he's doing to the beat itself. Like I told you when this pod started, the very end of the song, as crazy as Kendrick's verse was, like Metro did some shit.
Yeah. Like right after Kendrick. He had his solo. He had his guitar solo. Yeah.
And then also Future just was rapping
till the end of the song.
There's more.
Fading out.
I don't even know what he said. There's more. That's right.
Do you remember when R&B and soul singers used to just keep singing until the beat went out? That never happens anymore. And that's what happens. I'm just like, wow, they really brought it back, yo. Like that's something.
Like I kept turning up the volume. I'm like, wait, what's going on? I didn't realize it was like the song ending. Like, it was
great.
And then if we're gonna go back to Kendrick, his verse is it's not that light. Like, oh shit, I didn't know that Drake was dissing this guy because I went back after the person responded and now I understand it's a diss. Kendrick was saying first person shooter, calling out dogs. He's calling out big threes. Like he's
Michael Jackson
references. Like
because he was keeping it subtle for a while because they've been sneak dissing each other for like 10 years. So he's just like okay, and then I really think that it was First Person Shooter came out.
Yep.
And then J. Cole had his verse. He mentioned the big three, and Kendrick was just like, "Stop the record."
Don't put my
big three. What is this?
Just big me.
What is this? Please explain this. What is this big three? Huh?
Is there also?
Kendrick was listening with a notepad and a pen.
He's taking notes.
Big three?
Yeah.
first person.
Get that yellow notepad. Damn.
Listen, J. Cole said that, Big 3 started the league. He feeling like Muhammad Ali. You can't be saying that when Kendrick comes on King Kunta for so long, bro. It's just like, that he is the one who started all this whole shit with the control verse. He's I'm naming all of you by name, and I want to compete. Yeah. That is the essence of hip hop is competition. Whether people like it or not,
that's
it's like it's for the aura.
But that's what frustrates me is Kendrick will do this on other people's songs. His stuff comes out and there's nothing of it.
What is the difference between what he did and what is it? Hold on. What's the difference between what Kendrick did and what Drake did on Stay Schemin'? He dissed Common on Rick Ross's song.
Yeah, but he was responding to it on his own songs, on his own albums.
When?
All the time. It's subliminal, but he does that.
Yeah, but you never name names, though. Right?
No,
but at the same time, Kendrick did it all over the Compton album, Dr. Dre's Compton album. But at the same time, it's just like, okay, we know who Kendrick is as an artist in terms of, we know that conceptually he's going to have a consistent theme and he's going to stick to that for his album. That's why he has won all these damn Grammys. That's why he won a Pulitzer for Damn.
Yeah, that is
his focus.
That's cool.
But when it gets time to rapping, he's not going to shy away from that. He's always been calling out these niggas by name, just like, hey, what's going on? It's just like, all right, what's going on? Like, I'm poking you guys. I'm letting y'all know, like, hey, this is what's happening. So are y'all gonna respond or not? And they've always done the subliminal thing. You know what I'm saying? No one's actually ever went back and said, all right, Kendrick, I am taking your offer of this competition. I'm gonna go right at it. The only person who really did it but didn't say it by name was Big Crit. You know what I'm saying? Because Kendrick called out Big Crit on top of all of these people. But Big Crit responded with Mount Olympus. It was really good. Kendrick collaborated with Pusha T on Nostalgia, because obviously Pusha T wasn't gonna shy away from that. But Drake was just all this like, oh yeah, he's not gonna kill me or this other stuff. He had that one little line on the language. I was just like, okay. But it's just like, and then Drake was just like, all right. He just left it there, but Kendrick's just like, nah, like let's just go, like let's go for real.
I don't think we're ever gonna actually.
I was gonna say, do you think we get that?
And then First Person Shooter comes out, and then J. Cole just like just innocently just like, yeah, we did all this thing, we came up together, and then that goes against Kendrick's entire morals to be like, no, niggas, I'm better than you guys.
Well, he's also like, they were being very exclusive, or they're excluding Kendrick a lot.
Yeah,
like
because
it was like, we're the Spider-Man meme, like it's just me and this guy, and then there's the other guy too.
Does he not want to be a
the
part?
biracials clicked up.
Wow.
And they left the dark skinned youth to his own devices. What's going on?
Yeah, but take a step back for a second. People talk about hip hop being dead.
Yeah. It just moved to LA or what?
No. This conversation proves that it's still very much
still
here.
alive. Yeah.
Because also hip hop, just like anything else that people, just like fucking, I don't know, Love is Blind or anything that people follow, it's all a soap opera to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Listen to how much what we just talked about for like 10
WWE. People are losing their mind because The Rock is going off script.
And the joke is, at the end of the day, they're all still friends regardless.
Yeah.
Because even the whole time, no. This is why I believe that.
Think Drake. I don't think Kendrick is friends with these niggas.
No, I don't. I don't even think.
Cole, yes.
No, because
Drake, no.
The reason why I say that is because even the way things are playing out right now, everybody still wins. Drake still gets to be Drake. Kendrick still gets to be Kendrick.
Yeah.
And J. Cole still gets to be J. Cole. Nobody's actually coming
Their swimming lanes have already been defined.
But the respect level, especially for Drake, is like kind of waning, and then people are kind of looking at J. Cole to side eye. I'm just like, are you gonna
people
say
did that to J. Cole already.
And I say this.
Right, but he hasn't had this opportunity to be like, okay, respond.
Also, Malik, can I just say which people are we talking about? Because the people that we might be talking about losing respect for, or at least appreciating Drake music the same, is the 30+ crowd, which is the crowd that Drake don't even give a fuck about.
Doesn't care about. No.
But no, I say this because when you think back to the Meek Mill and Drake beef, the Meek Mill and Drake beef,
so funny,
which is hilarious. So that happened, what was that, 2018?
No, that was like
2016? No, it wasn't.
15, 16, 17.
2016 or 17.
When did Back to Back come out?
Either way, I think it's 2016. But all that to say, all that happened, and first of all, we both knew that they were both winning out of that situation by the end of it.
Meek Mill didn't win from that.
But all that to say is, I went to a party in 2019, which I had no business being there, but Drake was there. LeBron was there. A lot of people were there, but Drake and Meek Mill specifically were there. Buddy.
Oh, you know what? They made Rico after all that because, they squashed it, and then they made Rico for. Oh wait, no, Rico was the reason why they actually.
Rico was before.
Wait, Rico was the reason that this whole thing happened. Right, it was the next. It was the next one. Yeah.
But all that to say is, when I saw that, it just made me look at everything that I thought differently. I'm like, huh.
Yeah. It's all
there's
popular,
what's for us and there's what's really
for them. Yeah.
So now when I see anything moving forward, that's just how I.
That's fair.
And I'm like, you know what? Because this is great for hip hop. You got Kendrick now, you got J. Cole, and
everybody's been activated, called up.
Kendrick, J. Cole, and Drake all on like the same level. Call, pretty much, if you want to call it. Where somebody's got to do something.
Someone's got to do something.
We've never really had that. No. It's always like
not between the guys so on the top like this. Because before it was like J, DMX.
Yeah.
So we haven't had it in like 20 plus years. But the thing is, it's like okay, right? So it's just a matter of like, all right. Everyone's been making the jokes like, oh, Kendrick, he says one thing, he goes away for 5 years. First of all, he's never gone away for.
He disappears, bro. It's not 5 years, but he disappears, bro.
Yeah,
I'm a Kendrick fan, and he disappears.
It feels like 5.
The lack of music I get from Kendrick.
But last time,
hold on. Why is that such a bad thing? I think the problem. Hold on. But here's the thing. No, but here's the thing, and this is the problem, and I feel like Drake created this. Actually, you know what? Going back to Jay, because Jay-Z had his whole 8 straight summers of he dropped an album every single year.
Yeah,
that's fine. But Drake would drop something every single year. All the time, even the shit that's it's not good, but then he's all right, I'm taking a break. Then he comes back and drops something else. Then he drops something else. I'm just go the fuck away. Go actually live some life. Have a concept album and drop that. If he gave us something that was more geared towards, all right, Take Care, and then he had a break. Then he dropped Nothing Was the Same. Had a break. Then we got If You're Reading This It's Too Late. Yeah. We got More Life, and everyone's just all right, after More Life, all right, just chill the fuck out. Then he dropped Views, then it was all right, you have so much stuff. I'm just all right, are you gonna give us time to process things?
Never.
But you know what it is? There's always enough content where I'm good. I could go to different types of Drake, and I'm good. Kendrick, it's just, but I don't have enough.
Drake makes pop shit and hits for club bangers. He's always been that guy. Yeah. When you look at Kendrick as an artist conceptually, go from the Kendrick Lamar EP, go to Overly Dedicated, go to Section 80, Good Kid, Mad City, to Pimp a Butterfly, Damn, you know what I'm saying? Even going to Mr. Morale and Big Sever. So it's just concepts. You know what I'm saying? He did his feature stuff and everything else like that, but he's never been that type of artist. Even J. Cole, before he went on this crazy feature run, the gap between Forest Hills Drive and not even a lot of people fucked with For Your Eyes Only, but that was a great concept album.
That was a good concept album, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it really wasn't until, Revenge of the Dreamers, and then when he dropped,
he did some of the Dreamville mixtapes.
Exactly. Yeah. And he had his little EPs. So because of the fact that Kendrick hasn't bombarded us with all that content, but that's good because he cares about substance and not so much a lot of fluff. Because
he doesn't care about being the guy of every summer. That's not what
when Kendrick drops something, he's always in contention for Rap Album of the Year, Album of the Year, all that stuff. Really thinking above the bar of just all right, let me just feed you a single and then go home. But when he drops a single, or when he's on when he did the shit with Baby Keem or whatever, we were rocking with that. Hillbillies dropped that, we're all rocking with that. Range Rovers rocking with that. You know what I'm saying?
Coco, hi. I was just gonna say, artistry takes time. When you're an artist and you're putting something together holistically and you're involved in every aspect of that, it's not gonna come out every summer or two albums a year.
Right.
So you have artists and then you have pop stars. So that's what we're talking about here. That's the difference we're talking about, right? He's got a whole team of people that are pushing out these hits, and he's just in the booth. You know what I mean? It's not like he's heavily involved from top to bottom. So that's the difference. But going back to something you guys talked about at the opening of the pod, it's nice to go out where people want more. Right? That's what you guys said. Where you're like, damn, no, don't do it, only 200. Rather than, nigga, go sit down. It's time.
That's true.
That's the difference between those two.
Okay.
Yo, help me.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm at with Kendrick. Like I want more.
But that's a good thing. That's a good thing. More than just like, all right, you gave us 10 fucking albums and all these EPs and all these features. Like, go away. I literally made a blog post saying, "Go away, Drake."
Damn.
Yeah.
I made it in 2016.
Maybe you'll
just go away from that.
Drake can go away. Drake can't go away because he has so many different realms
he created
that he can
whole problem by himself.
By himself, because we love the music, and not only us, people that don't really love hip hop to that respect. Everyone loves Drake's music, right? He can do that.
Money.
What's one thing that Kendrick can't do? He can't do it for everyone.
Right, it's true.
Right?
Kendrick's not trying to make for everybody.
A lot of people tell it to me.
Drake is trying to make for everybody.
Exactly.
Even when he made Swimming Pools is like a very deep rooted song about alcoholism,
for sure.
And it was still a club banger. You know what I'm saying?
Everything Kendrick does is going to be a club banger of some sort, right? Because Kendrick is super, super talented. But one thing people have told me, and I thought about this, I'm like, does Kendrick make music for people that ride the bus? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I rode the bus here.
I ride the bus. I'm not all the time too. I'm just saying that
the short bus is probably.
Listen to 8 a.m. in Charlotte. Drake called it out from then, and I'm a Drake stan. I'll say it. Drake stan. Drake called out from then.
Did you just try to make a ride the short bus reference?
You tried to make that.
No, I did not say that at all.
You didn't say short bus. You didn't say it. But I'm just trying to say your teacher.
I'm a fan of. All right.
I'm just putting it in his mouth to see
Hey, I did not say that at all. Shortcake, nothing like that. Shortcake. No, I'm a big fan of Kendrick, but bigger fan of Drake because he can do it, and I look forward to the summers because Drake, I know he drops some sort of fire, regardless for everyone. And plus, he's from Toronto, so it's a little bit different for me. Because we're from the city, it's different. He's from Forest Hill, but he makes music for us all.
He's from Brampton.
And people, listen. You love Lecrae. At the bottom, the end of the day, Kendrick makes music. He needs to take time to formulate these great lyrics, so on and so forth. Drake can release whatever he wants. It can be EDM. It can be whatever he wants, and it still will be a banger regardless. And we will rock with it.
I'm not gonna lie. Honestly, Nevermind needs more love because that's the last Drake album that I've enjoyed from start to bottom. I'm just wait, do more of this shit. This is really good.
Yeah,
we don't need
really
to hear you rap. You can do this shit. And I hate the fact that Jimmy Crooks or whatever is on the end of it. I'm just like, get this shit out of here. This
I actually don't even need Jimmy Crooks.
But like, no, honestly, it was just like, okay, you took your time with that and you actually stepped into a different lane. That's just like, okay, this works.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just like not so much as, just trying to hone in on like, really like trying to create like, the concept album that we all want to like. The last one really, as a whole, that I feel like everyone like really loved, especially from people in our age group, was Views. That was like the last one.
Yeah.
Because like people were just like, Scorpion was too long. Yeah. That did not need to be a double album. It did not need to be a double album. CLB was okay.
Did not really mess with that one.
You know what I'm saying? Didn't really care for. I mean, I didn't really care for her loss. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just like, well, I said this before. The reason why I'm not as much of a Drake fan as like before, and it's alluded to like the fact that we grew without him.
Yeah.
Drake makes a lot of spin the block music. I'm not spinning no blocks on nobody.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? It's
I agree.
Like, all right, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can always make like exceptions, but it's just like, no, it's just like, no, this is, it's the growth here. So it's just like, but he makes so much of that, and that's the reason why a lot of the 20-somethings really rock with him, because like that's the shit that's there.
What happens
but like that's where, like really like intellectually, that's where he's at, and taps into that market because it's easy to make that pop song or make that hit or whatever. When he made that Tootsie Slide bullshit, and I had people
flying
Bailey,
in their bedroom.
I'm gonna call him out. Bailey said he's like, it was a smart song. It's like smart. Why?
You're talking
because
to the wrong
it was just
person.
a TikTok.
You're talking to the wrong. You're talking to a super stan.
That's lazy, and it's just like we should demand more. We should demand better for our, especially if you're part of this big three. Listen, J. Cole, we haven't really talked about him, but he's had great concept albums. Going back to 2014 Forest Hills Drive, going back to For Your Eyes Only, going back to KOD, going back to just the last one before the fall off happened. So I forgot the name of it. But you know, he's really stepped it up, and that's why everyone's like, you know, when people are saying like, oh, like, you know, Kendrick's a chump, he dissed J. Cole. I'm just like, please do not, don't forget, like, before 2014 Forest Hills Drive, you know what I'm saying, like, Cole wasn't doing all that. Cole wasn't doing all that until like about a couple years ago. Where he's really getting busy with the raps. Like, he's
all the features.
He's at his prime right now. 100%. Like, rapping wise, this is the best that he's ever been. 100%. You know what I'm saying? What
are our predictions that come out after this? Whether it's a Drake prediction or a J. Cole prediction or a Kendrick prediction or a Future and Metro prediction? Because there's supposed to still be Future and Metro albums coming out in April.
Yeah, April.
Do we predict that there's going to be some silence until that album drops? Do we predict that Kendrick might have another single Lucy to drop at this point because he's free from TD?
Kendrick's
about to
waiting.
Do whatever he's going to do.
He's going to wait.
I think he's chilling. I think he's at the stage. You know, remember in Endgame when Thanos was just sitting down waiting?
That was Kendrick right now. Remember when Pusha T basically baited Drake when he dropped Infrared? Drake responded with Duppy relatively quick. Relatively, I'm just saying it, relatively quick. And then what happened? Pusha T had Story of Adidon there. And he said, hey, we can keep doing this because I have more. And then what happened?
You can't
he put out the Notes app. He said, oh, this explains the blackface thing. And then he's a father.
That's what I'm saying.
And all that. So
the
just
quick
like,
replies aren't it.
Kendrick already has shit. He wouldn't be doing all that. Like, he's very smart. He's very calculated.
We might not hear
when's the tour finished?
That's a very good question. But I think
when the tour is done,
I just don't think we're going to hear from Drake until at least the end of April.
The tour.
He's not going to do it.
When the tour is done, like, maybe he's doing stuff in like the studio, but J. Cole is kind of like the wild card because I don't know where he'll go. I know that, you know, he's gearing up to, you know, prep for his album and the fall off and everything else like that. So he'll probably slot something in there.
He might jump on a feature.
But the thing is, there's never been animosity.
He might be done April 5th.
Okay, there's never been animosity between Kendrick and Cole. Those guys are brethren. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, Cole wanted to sign Kendrick at one point. You know what I'm saying? And then he got Kendrick Jr. with JID. So when you look at, like, you know, that's like, J. Cole always see it as competition.
100%.
For Drake and Kendrick, that's personal.
Beef. That's actual beef.
That's personal. So that's why it's just like, okay, whatever Drake decides to do, but it's just like, okay, it better be very good because Kendrick has his shit loaded up. And I feel like probably towards the end of the year, I feel like if this is what has inspired Kendrick in terms of like a rap competition and whatnot, we'll probably get a project.
Who do you hear from?
I think so. I think
first,
that is
though. Is it Cole or Drake?
Cole.
It's gonna be Cole.
I'll put my money on Cole.
Drake's not gonna say that.
And Drake, I was about to say, if we hear from Cole first, do we even hear from Drake before we hear something from Kendrick?
We have to. We have to
hear from Drake?
You need to hear from all three.
We're not going to hear from Drake.
You need to, but you won't.
We have to.
I don't know if you won't. I don't know if you will.
Even when Control drops, we still got the language.
Sorry.
Even when Control drops, he still got something in the language.
We have a source here.
What happened?
Yeah, I was told from someone in Chubb's camp that Drake will respond at some point. He just made a clip with Ben Don. He made like a little reel, whatever, for the people, for like the youths, whatever. But he's going to respond. He already has something in the bank, so
he has to.
I mean, you got to say that as his man's, but
right.
I don't think he wants to. Like,
that's a contractual obligation.
I don't think he wants that smoke.
I don't think this.
You have to.
It's a different level. Like, I don't know if he's ready for that.
I don't think we're gonna see Drake walk out of this and we're all gonna say, "Oh, he's washed. He got washed by all of them." I think we're gonna see him do something, and we're gonna say, "Yeah, that was shaky. He didn't win this thing. He's not the one that's coming out as top dog. He's definitely a 2 or a 3 out of this."
He can't afford to lose.
That's really what it's gonna be.
He can't afford to lose another beef because Pusha T whooped his ass. Let's be real. Pusha T whooped his ass. But Kendrick can also do that too.
People don't really rate Pusha T.
Pusha T did, so I feel like his popularity superseded what actually really happened in that beat.
Exactly.
Drake did that thing where he was like, well, I'm a pop star. I got way more people that fuck with me than people that fuck with you. And I win.
Kendrick's on a different level.
And that's how he won, or at least skated by.
Yeah.
I don't think he can do the same thing regardless of how his response is received here, because you're dealing with Kendrick here.
Right.
This is like,
and you can't be like, oh, he doesn't sell it. Yes, he does.
it's not like you got like, it's not
He
like
sells
you got,
records. He wins awards. He's very respected
this
in the
isn't
rap
a
world
dude
by
that's gonna
everybody.
come do a show in Toronto at the Phoenix.
Damn.
This is not that dude.
Shout out to Phoenix. I love Phoenix.
Great
Love
venue.
Phoenix.
Good
The
venue.
Phoenix.
The Phoenix.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's
A
not
lot
gonna
of
go to
feds.
history.
Yeah.
Feds at Phoenix?
Oh yeah. Oh, you missed some time,
Scarborough
bro.
guys.
There's bare fans at Phoenix, bro.
Shanti knows. She knows.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Has it been a while? Or?
It's been a minute. Yeah.
I wasn't fire fedding or any fedding.
Man, you missed out on the prime soca days.
And I'm the only. I think
2015?
Yes.
2015? DJ Private Ryan, 2015? Go back and listen to. Come on, man.
Big times. Caught a lot of wines.
Let's get back to reality as we're on hour 2 now.
Jeez.
This is like
marathon.
We're getting there.
We love it.
205.
No, we're not doing a marathon because I'm gonna be switching out. I'm gonna be like, okay, washroom break. Somebody cover me.
I know. The washroom break's coming up.
Listen, I can hold my own. If y'all need to go, listen. It could be me and Malik. You know what I'm saying? Me and Malik and Brandon. Like, you know, we hold it down. Y'all need to go. Y'all need to go.
Little pod interlude. That should be hilarious.
Who's our next sponsor? Let's do this.
So that's that. I'm excited for music in the summer. I feel like we got a couple things that have happened. I think even just the music that we've had from a hip hop perspective outside of beef, like Schoolboy Q's album was nuts. I said that was album of the year before we even heard this Future Metro thing, which was great. However, Malik has already put me on. Like those are some songs we've already seen and have heard.
No, really.
Future has on his YouTube page.
He's like 7 years old.
He's got some old songs that he puts out unreleased music on his YouTube page.
So the thing about like an artist like Future, which actually I respect, is that he doesn't confine his music to what's released to the mainstream. So you can go on YouTube and find a whole other Future you don't know about.
Yeah.
Right. So I've been listening to like random unreleased Future on YouTube for years. Specifically, this one YouTube video that has like a bunch of his songs.
With the Megan Thee Stallions.
Yeah, it's
type shit.
Yeah, it's called like Future. Like I would just search this while I'm working, editing shit. Like Future Unreleased. It's like an hour and a half, and it has "What the Fuck You Mean" on it. I've been listening to that song for like 2-3 years already.
Oh wow! Damn.
And he threw that on at the end of his album, so you know he's trying to round that shit out.
Great song.
It is though.
I love "What the Fuck You Mean." That was great. Also a great. It's a great gym album. You know what I'm saying? And also what I do have to say, like, you know, I know that we're focusing on hip hop, but a lot of like just like pop shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know, especially like I went on a 2-hour walk today and I was listening to Tyler's debut album.
It's a good album.
Very good.
I'm gonna listen to it. I haven't listened to Tyler yet.
And I listened to Cowboy Carter.
Cowboy Carter. Let's talk about that. That's a very good album.
Fire.
Very good album.
Fire. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, we're gonna be really fed for the summer, and you know, shout out to Crangbin, shout out to Hiatus Coyote. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You listen to what you know about that?
What do you mean? Hiatus Coyote is my shit, dog. Yo, fam, they're my shit. I love Hiatus Coyote, fam. Mood Valiant, I live with that.
Let me also throw in. What's his name? There's that Mexican OT. You guys don't listen to him, but that guy's album was great. Also, like if you fucked with the Houston vibe back in when we were 15 and 16 years old.
Oh, like Slim Thug and them.
Yeah. Guess what? Slim Thug and them was on the album too.
Oh, that's tough.
Listen to that Mexican OT. It's a new.
Okay. You listen to Sauce Walker?
Who's that?
He's from Texas too. He's fire. I'm waiting on him to drop me another album.
And then I'm gonna have to say like Sir's album. You guys.
Sir's album is fire. Sir's album is fire.
Yeah. Satisfaction. Oh my god.
That song is crazy.
Oh my god. Poetry in Motion.
Yeah.
Getting new Anderson .Paak verses.
Yes.
What? We're getting a new Free Nationals album.
Yes.
We're being fed.
Yes.
All
I feel like
2024.
this summer 2024 might be crazy.
Jeez.
It's a good time.
It is. Good time.
I'm getting closer to just wanting to celebrate the end of this pod and all this new music.
Absolutely.
But I just want to get back into the realization that this is 200. This is it.
Damn.
This is it, big dog. Like
tears. Nah, I'm kidding.
I'm just.
Oh yeah, now they're coming.
I realize
now the tears coming.
I'm not gonna say nothing on 200.
Now the tears coming.
Hi.
Hi.
I actually wrote something down. If that's
No.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, y'all got tissue. Crowd, y'all got tissue.
No.
Nah.
All right. So first, I'd like to give a quick shout out to me.
Yes.
So
All
I'd
right.
like to take a quick trip down memory lane.
Yeah.
To when my husband, then boyfriend, I think at this time. We were
I think so.
chatting and chowing down on some chicken sandwiches.
As you guys would.
Specifically the Big Mary.
Oh man.
And I just said, hey, why don't you just test out some popular chicken sandwiches and post about it on IG? Many chicken sandwiches later, you all got your first sponsor with Mary Brown's Chicken.
Yep.
And then they later catered our wedding, so shout out to them.
Shout out to them.
Listen to your wife, bro. Listen to your wife.
Black women.
Facts.
Yeah, that's just a core memory for me and the genesis of this show and just the journey that you guys have been on, and it's been incredible to witness, and y'all really just kept this moving during a pandemic. Like, let's just keep that real, right? Like, COVID, it was really hard and y'all still did that. So that's just a testament to your incredible dedication and commitment to this, and you know, I'm incredibly proud of you both, especially to you, my PDJ. You know, just seeing you so come alive when recording and balancing duties with seniors work. Sleep in peace. But you know, he was even so proud of you. Even though he didn't understand.
I was about to say he didn't know what podcast was, but he knew it like the chicken. Yeah. He knew there was chicken involved.
He was so here for the Mary Brown. That's all. But you know, he knew how special this was for you too. And you know, I remember how nervous you were to ask me about if it was okay to do this, you know, because we were just starting out and like Friday nights was our night, you know what I mean? But I knew how special this was for you, and I knew this would help continue to fuel and reawaken that beautiful, you know, creative spirit in you. And again, I'm just truly grateful to ride this out with you, and just congratulations to you both and on this achievement. And I can't wait to see what's next.
Thank you, Ashley. That was amazing.
You better help it out. What are you talking about? I ain't getting no What's going on? That was beautiful. Shout out to YV, you know what I'm saying?
If I can say something before you even say anything on that, like, just the fact that like I'm realizing this in real time, like Friday nights are your thing. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy to hear that was you guys' thing, and you're like, but I feel like this is something that I really want to do. I'm passionate about, and I want to just like that. The consistency is important to me as well. Yeah. And that changed and shaped what you guys' world is. Yeah. And I'm just truly, really grateful that like I have creatives that I'm working with that are just like, fuck Fridays, let's do this. So like, and family that's supportive of that, and just whether it's your support driving him when he wants to get wasted at the podcast, or participating and being on mic.
Good times.
Or just being like, you know what, I don't have it in me to be there. It's not my thing, but please indulge, and I'll see you when you get back. Like that's support you like to get from your partner that like I think you don't really realize is important until you get there, because sometimes those conversations aren't always easy. You know, or at least figuring it out isn't always easy.
No, exactly. So thank you for everything. Like honestly, the support that you've shown me throughout the years is. Yeah, it means so much. Like honestly, I don't know if I'd be here without it. You know, like our whole relationship has been this way. Our whole like knowing each other has been this way. Just supporting each other, and you've really had my back throughout this. Our backs throughout this. You know, the suggestions, the ideas, all of it. Just appreciate it. The flexibility, the understanding of what it takes. You know, it's not easy. You know, I'm sure Coco knows it's not easy. You know what I mean? Like to support someone's drive, and you know, and especially when it was the days where we didn't have sponsors, we didn't do like, you know what I mean? We were just doing this. You know what I mean? And we didn't know what was going to come of it, you know what I mean? But to see the support that our family showed us, it means a lot. So thank you.
And yes. Don't get you.
And I mean, shout out to Miss Coco.
No.
No, honestly, because when you came on, you're just so fierce and incredible, and you really locked in like a whole different audience. Like you have no idea.
Yes.
A lot of women as well. So just. I love you as well. You're just amazing.
Yes.
And it was just so incredible to get to know you as well during this whole process. So.
Yes.
Yes. And if I could piggyback on some love on my way, like a lot of our conversations, as soon as you listened to the pod before we were living in the same house, so like you kind of understood like what the tone was, what the vibe was, what we was about, and then you came to be a part of like pre-production on like every single time, and it was like some of our friction was you wanted to cook for everybody and make this a whole like family thing, and we do this before we pod and blah blah blah. I'm like, why are we spending all this money on this food? Like we just show up, we record, we have a couple drinks, and that's it.
Dog, the food was good. What do you mean, bro?
So I'm appreciative for what you brought to it. Like just like looking at the spreads from what we were having at my parents' crib was nuts. Like at our crib, you know, sometimes we'd start recording a little bit later than we'd like to because our bellies was being tended to, and like that was still very important. And I don't think that any of our guests felt any differently. Like they all appreciated it. And to Ashley's point, like you did add, I feel like you spoke to a whole new audience of 100%. Ours, or like an underserved audience of ours, 100%. Where it was just a bunch of dudes that was just talking unchecked. Until we was checked and checked and checked. But also we're getting your insight, which is a whole other perspective. Aside from just being a woman, we got somebody from the West Coast who's tapped into things a little bit closer, and we got to learn a little bit more about things like Diddy the Demon and et cetera, et cetera.
And we're back.
Diddy the Demon.
And we're back.
So love you. Cheers to you, and I really appreciate all that you've added to the pod.
Yes. Thank you.
We stand water signs in this house.
You know what's crazy too? Like I gotta say, like just shout out to you, man, for real, because it's wild. Like obviously we went to school together and everything like that, but I feel like this really solidified our friendship. Like I feel like this pod brought us together to the fact, like when you asked me to be a part of your special day and you guys getting married, like I was truly touched because. Going back to when we first knew each other, I didn't know. I was like, yo, I don't know if this guy's like, I don't know if I like him. I don't know if he likes me. Like, it was kind of weird. Like the first interaction in university, like I always thought you were the dude that was too cool. You know what I mean? And just to get to know you over these past few years and spending these Fridays doing this pod with you and Malik and getting to know Malik, you know, who when I first met you was like.
He might be too cooler than Shaquille.
Yeah, he was like mad young, and I was like, all right, cool. And then like, you know, getting to know you guys and getting to know your family, it was really become like a second family for me, and just everything that I've gone through, my family's gone through these past few years. You guys have really supported us, and I've had many talks with your dad and your mom, just shedding wisdom on me. So honestly, like you guys have become that second family to me. Like I've always felt welcomed, and man, I just got to say thank you to you, man. Thank you to the Cox household. Thank you to Malik. Thank you to Coco. Thank you to your whole family, man. Like, you guys are what it means when you talk about building a community and supporting each other. Like, you guys do that. Like, from the work that I've seen, was it Play Forever, all the charity stuff you guys did, the basketball games that you guys run, all the stuff you do in the community, you guys are really about that. Like, people talk about it. You know, we talk about supporting each other. You guys live that. And I really want to just give you your flowers. Give Malik his flowers as well for everything, the creative direction. Like, y'all understand. Like, you guys don't understand. Like, we have so many talks about what this pod is going to look like, what it should look like, what it could look like. And Malik just took this and runs with it. And it's like, nah, we should be doing this. We should have a different vision. So all that to say, like, thank you both for dedicating your time to this. You know what I mean? Dedicating your craft and just your passion and just driving us forward. So thank you guys. Big up to y'all.
Thank you. This is crazy because like I was also just, as you're talking to Malik, like we went through a whole lot where he could have decided. There's nothing really firm on like you being really a part of it until we got the cameras involved, which was a bit after we've been podding. And when that happened, it was like we had some personnel changes at the same time, and it just like you could have decided that you were done as well, and you decided to say, you know what, fuck it, I'm just still gonna be a part of it. I'm still gonna pull up. I still have a passion for this, and I have an idea of where this can go. And I appreciate that as somebody who I lived with and has been like that's a blessing to be able to live with you, create with you. Outside of this pod, with this pod, like that's just been a blessing. I'm just so lucky. So appreciate you.
I love all of this.
Yes.
I love all of this black love. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you got your wives here, and you guys have this brotherhood and whatnot. I'm just like, I'm happy to have been a observer, supporter, guest and whatnot. Like, it's beautiful. It's great.
Oh, before you say shit, because I know you want to say something, but I want to tell you something because you were there from when it was just a stupid pre-drink thing that we did that didn't sound good, and like you believed in it too. You were riding with it. Things didn't work out as far as like you being here throughout the entire time, but it wasn't. It could have been something as simple as like your ego getting involved and in the middle of it, or my ego getting involved and just being like, nah, fuck Brandon or fuck Shaq. Just because of how it didn't work out as far as getting through in the pandemic, which was a very hard time on everybody. And when I don't even remember how the first time it came about where I was like, yeah, you should come be back on the pod, and we can start this whole Brandon the intern joke and whatever it is, and every single thing that we suggest, and like as you came back and we kind of poked fun a little bit on the absence or whatever, like. You laughed with it, you ran with it, you enjoyed it, you were like just a good vibe and good company as you've always been, no matter what, whether we're hitting record on something or not. So like I really appreciate you, Brandon. You really ride and you show up. And I'm just so thankful for your friendship and the fact that you're on this pod.
I just want to say, of course, like you two have been like brothers for me from the start, and I never went into university saying, I'm gonna find like friendships for life, because I thought I had that, but really you two really showed me, the brotherhood, the black love, everything from that has really grown from this podcast and outside of it, so on and so forth. And I knew even when I was going through turmoil, I'm like, these are my guys for life. Like, I already knew that for a fact, right? So I know I was going through a lot, but at the same time, like, I'm so glad I could come back later on. I'll be called an intern and be called so many different things, and it was still love from the entire way, right? But just want to say, like, shout out to your family, shout out to you. I really love you guys, like, generally, right? It doesn't matter who it is, you guys always welcome them in.
Definitely.
Just how you are, right? And I'm so glad for life that I will be the same way going forward, right? So I'm just thankful for your wives, your family, so on and so forth. And I'm just like, I can't wait for the next chapter, but at the same time, I just know this is something that we'll have for like a life going forward.
Yeah,
obviously,
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Cheers up to that, yo. Jeez.
I mean, I could keep dishing love around the corner, but I think we did it for the most part. I feel like I don't know what happens right after this is done. Like what I talked about with The Weeknd and how he said that was his last feature, but that wasn't his last feature. Who knows? I saw X-Men leave in '97, and it came back in 2024. So the next episode back, and it was just like picking it up like it never dropped.
All the damn reboots they be doing.
So
you know what I mean? Who knows?
So who knows?
Who knows? What we do know. Go ahead.
All I know is we did something that's gonna last forever. And I'm looking forward to whatever creative outlets or things that this podcast catapults us to, career-wise, 100%. Life-wise, or whatever. I think we did that shit. Like,
facts.
Y'all did.
A lot of people tried to do something in 2020 where they're like, oh, let's pick up a mic and do something, and they tried it. It happened for a couple weeks, and it didn't amount to anything. We did something. This shit's on our resumes. This shit's like cemented. This shit is like it lasted. Yes, sir.
I just want to say, because like we brought this into the pandemic, we got to episode 100 in the pandemic. And on episode 100 we had Terrence Ross on the podcast. And Terrence Ross started his own podcast. I want to say because of us. He had so much fun.
His was just getting started.
He was just getting started. But I mean, like, he had a lot of fun. He had a lot of fun on our podcast, and I feel like we did have a lot to do with that. Not saying, I won't say necessarily flat out.
Say it.
It's because of us.
Thank you.
It's because of us. But yeah, just because, like you said, in 2020 when it was hard to do anything at all, it's a blur to me. I don't remember how we did anything.
Facts.
But
Facts.
You believe it's been 4 years?
Yeah,
no, it's more than that. It's like 6
almost
maybe.
6. It's going on. Well, by the end of.
Oh, I'm talking about the pandemic specifically like that started 4 years ago.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the majority of time where you guys are doing your podcast.
Yeah, no, it's facts.
We double timed it in the pandemic.
We doubled,
Right, because we had nothing but time. We had nothing but time, right? So honestly, shout out to you guys.
Yeah, no, it took a lot of commitment from both of you guys, from like the support group, like you guys have said, our parents, your now wives, because so much time has passed. It's taken a lot of commitment, even for me. I walked away, I came back, I was here, I was there, foot in, foot out. But then, I saw what it could be because I saw how passionate you guys were. Because I remember even at the beginning, to do anything with Shaquille at first, it wasn't easy because like we've never done anything like this. But then I saw a different side of Shaquille come out of this, which drove me to do it even harder because. At first, like, when you start out in anything creatively, everybody wants to do it. But then everyone's like, yeah, we'll do it.
Right, and you don't talk about it for like 5 months. You're like, hey, what about that part?
And then all it takes is, Shaquille's waiting for me. I'm waiting for you. You're waiting for Shaquille. We're all waiting for each other. Nobody gets anything done. But then we all just, almost naturally found our own roles within it before we defined it. But we naturally found our own roles within it. I'm like, well, you know what I could do? She was like, well, I know what I could do. And she's like, well, I got this. And we came, and, we at the time where, like you guys said, that we started this, it was just like something that was a fun pre-drink thing. And then it became like a fun Friday thing. And then we're like, wait a minute. We could actually get money and do something with this. And then it became a business. We drove it to being a business. And, we've achieved everything we wanted with this. We've made money. We've made friends. We've met a lot of cool people along the way. We've made merchandise. That's something that I've always wanted to do. Finn, I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Like one of the biggest highlights for me, aside from like us recording, is when we did the stuff in the summer, a couple summers ago with Shea Moisture, and we were out there hosting an event for them. Like that was like a sick
that's when I felt it.
Yeah,
I was like, wait a minute.
That was crazy.
I still got my care package from you.
Same.
You know what I mean? But it was like, to me, that was like, oh shit, like we're doing something here. Like people know us out here. You know what I mean?
We showed up. We had signage outside the building and shit. It was weird.
Like, yo, like, tough. It was tough. You know what I mean? So
that was just an Illustrator file for me. Like a random made a logo and to see it out in the world.
Yeah, to see it out in the world, and you know what I mean? To like the fruits of our labor, man. Just putting in that time and that dedication and taking it seriously, like got us to that moment and so many others. So
and I hope that this doesn't like minimize what we've been doing, but I feel like this podcast to me has been proof of concept more than anything. It will
never minimize because of the fact that like, look, there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and passion that goes into it. So even if you yourself view it as a proof of concept, it's something that is very impactful. And the reason why I had to jump in on that is because Next Stop was a proof of concept for Jabari, Tashawn, Phil, those guys. That got picked up by CBC Gem. Then they got a second season. Then, Jabari and Tashawn, they're writing a show for another network. I got into the union because of the second season of Next Stop, and you guys have seen what I've done with my career. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it can never be minimized because of all the effort that you put out into the world. It's just going to come back to you tenfold because of the fact that you put in all that effort.
Yeah, you know I think, to your point, I think it's just like maybe as the creative involved in what I'm saying, I'm going to say it's just proof of concept. But it's not really minimizing what it is. To me, it's just like, it goes to show, like, for me or anybody that wants to do something, you do it consistent enough, and like, this is what I want to tell my kids. Like, you do whatever you want to do in life. Do it long enough. Just do it long enough and just see what happens.
With it. Exactly.
That's really what it is. Consistency is key.
Facts.
And if it's something that you truly love doing, just all right, just keep because you really never know. I never would have thought that, like, you know, when I was 9 years old and I said that, all right, I wanted to work in television, and then learning Avid Media Composer when I was 16 years old, like, you know, by the time I'm like 30, I'm just like, all right, I'm cutting stuff for the Raptors and we're winning a championship and I get a ring and all this other stuff.
Sounds ridiculous.
Like,
sounds ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, but it's just like, it just starts from that one thing. It's just like, all right, just keep doing it. Keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? So what you guys are doing, you guys have planted the seeds because, you know, it started off from just like having a conversation, like, hey, you want to do a podcast, whatever. And then the consistency that you built from that, and you've seen, you know, you've hit all the milestones. So just everything that you want that'll come after this, understand that you put in the body of work for 6 years.
Big fact.
You know what I'm saying? So like that is a testament to your consistency and to your efforts, but also that's going to be a key contributor to the success in which you're going to garner for yourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
I also want to like just show some love to a couple of the guests that like I wanted to be here. That I wanted to pull up, but weren't able to make it. And then maybe just a couple of people that I fucked with, like Shem for sure. He wrote a diss track after being on this pod.
Yeah. You just gotta say it quiet, right? Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah, I know.
Is he Drake? Is Shem Drake?
Shem is Drake, and this is Kendrick. There you go. He would be on the radio. Shout to Keisha Fresh.
Yes.
We were supposed to have her pull up. I would have loved to. Oshan. I still haven't listened to his voice note. He was at Juno's last week, and things have been crazy this week for him. And
same with Keisha.
Same. They're both at Juno's. I mean, those are the people we rub shoulders with.
Facts.
Like there's just probably there's so many names. Those are the ones that I was like really hoping would have been here. What's that?
No, I was just saying. Every single guest you have in this podcast, from like mental health therapists, to artists, and I remember during the pandemic when we needed that for sure. This is what brought it. And even though I was like one of the hosts during the pandemic, that helped me help a lot of people that brought it. Like literally would tell me that it helped them as well too. And like this podcast has done a lot more than people you probably even know. Right. So you two, consistency, exemplify, so on and so forth. You guys have done a great job for that. Right? So shout out to yourselves.
Appreciate that, bro. And I feel like we can probably consistently just give. There's so much love in this room. We can just keep going around in a circle. I just don't want to draw this out as long as it could go, because we can do this actually for the 5 hours that Tremaine says that.
I mean, we're halfway there, bro.
I mean, it is a long weekend. So
what I do want to say before we go is that this is the last pod. But you are going to see the clips and all that stuff still go live, and we're going to be around on socials for a minute. We are going to have a celebration of sorts, still TBD as far as like what the details look like, but venue, drinks, merch, that's a general vibe. That's going to happen.
It's going to be a party.
You know what I mean?
Food.
Food. Yeah. We won't talk your ear off on that one, but we're going to play some bangers, hopefully a couple diss tracks and some more future. I'm hoping
I can get a 16 ready if Shem will be there. I'll get a 16 ready.
We might actually, we're trying to book Shem to do his back-to-back. It was on back-to-back too.
It was on back-to-back.
But that's what we have. I want to do that in the summer at some point this year.
Definitely do that.
So
we'll do that in the summertime.
That's the plan.
Oh man, it's crazy, bro.
How do I say? How do you say goodbye? I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. But
just like, what do we do one time? We're like, all right, we out.
Oh, we did that. We're like, okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
No, we'll give him the drops out of here. Patrick, your final words.
Man, it's been an honor. It's been a ride. It's been a journey. I love y'all. Patrick Dennis Jr. on everything. Follow me. Got some stuff coming. Because you know how I do.
You know.
Sticks, before we go, last words.
Be sure to look out for the Office Movers that will be coming out on Crave. I'll be editing 3 episodes on that. It will be your favorite show. I put my stamp on that.
Okay.
Because I'm cutting it. Hell,
That's your word. And
that's my word and it sticks.
Hey.
You know.
Brandon, last words. You didn't catch that? You didn't catch that? You guys didn't catch that?
That's crazy. That's nuts. Last words. Love y'all. Love you guys. Love everyone that's been supporting the podcast for a long time. My favorite podcast will always be my favorite podcast. And shout out to love to you all. And God bless you all.
I appreciate it.
Now with the hype.
Malik, last words.
Let's get it, bro.
I actually don't have much to say. But I am excited for what's to come, which is what I don't know. But, you know, based on the people that we are and what we're capable of, that's exciting. And I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
So look out.
Hey.
Like Patrick says, look out.
Yes.
I love that.
Hold on. Where's my OG drop? Because you guys like that one more.
Shop like Shaq. You waste you.
My last words is just like whatever you want to do it. And do it as consistently, as long as you can, because that's where the success comes.
Yes.
I'm still trying to figure it out. But like I said, to me, and like to other people, it might be different, but this has been proof of concept. 200 episodes, just me hitting record on a mic with my homies and my brother, like, and all of a sudden I have a podcast. Like, that's crazy. So you just do something long enough, who knows where you end up, who knows who you meet, who knows what kind of friendships you end up having, what your circle looks like, and looking back, it all makes sense. It's crazy. Looking back, it really all makes sense. I was looking at what was it, the Walkman with the Talkboy?
Yeah.
I wanted that shit so bad when I was a kid. I never had a Talkboy, but like just the concept of recording my voice has always been so fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Radio was my first love. I used to record PSAs on my grandfather's tape recorded when I was 8 years old. So I understand.
There's a reason why we're all here.
Then I go to university. They're like, "Oh, you got a decent voice. Look at me now, Dad."
I really think, honestly, this man hasn't got his flowers, but Shaq is like the best host on a podcast I've seen in a long time. Like, really better than Joe Budden. It doesn't matter what it is. It's almost like you're like a man from National Geographic and Joe Budden podcast fused in one. And real shit, you've been the best. So
Talk to the Blackberry King. Blackberry King. What you saying, fam? Not like Shaq.
I appreciate
He's not a real shit. He's a good youth.
And that's it. That's the last episode. That's the last moment. Cheers, y'all.
I got no news.